Are we live?
All right, looks
We
like
live.
we
We
in
live.
here. Things are happening. Episode 1. Here we go. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Welcome to the first episode of My Unsolicited Opinion podcast. We are going to have a great time. It is going to be where we share our unsolicited opinions with you about topics from everything from money, relationships, kids, everything under the sun. And we're going to give y'all some tea and some 2 cents. Okay? I am Joy Bailey, and I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. And we're just going to introduce ourselves. I am a proud Aggie and a mother of one 14-year-old son. Ladies, please introduce yourselves.
You want to go next time?
Okay, so my name is Ty. I am I am from Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm here just to give my my unsolicited opinion, just to get, trying to set the record straight a little bit, and do a little something on here with my homegirls up here.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I can't wait to get into some of these topics. What you got, girl?
All right, I'm NAllen. Nastasha, better known as NAllen. I am a pharmacist. I am currently married, residing in the SIP. I'm from Lake Providence,
Not
Louisiana.
that's it. Come on,
From the
sis,
boot,
from the
y'all know
boot.
where it's at. Where it's at,
From the
y'all know
boot.
that's my current situation. But we're on
Oh,
here offering all of our unsolicited opinions. We know you didn't ask, but we're going to share them anyway. So let's
okay.
go.
Love it. I
Okay.
absolutely love it. I don't think I told y'all I'm a mortgage loan officer as well. So we're all professional women, 39, 40 years old. So we live a little bit of life. We got a little bit of experience under our
A
belts.
little
And
bit
so
of
we
experience.
want to
Go
make
ahead.
sure that we are educating as well as entertaining you guys about some of the life experiences that we've had. Because as we was preparing for the show, baby, I learned some things about Ty.
Okay.
She'll fight you. She'll fight you, honey. Don't come for her.
She's not above that.
Okay.
Never above that. Okay.
It's not too much.
Learn some things about each other during this process. So,
Right.
but
That's
our episodes, we're gonna have some hot topics, and then we'll dive into some topics like more deep, and we're gonna ask for you guys to participate as well.
Yeah.
So please make sure that you are listening, you're participating in the chat. We're really excited to do this, and get a little conflict going, a little viral moment, if you will. So, y'all ready?
Let's
Yes,
go.
ma'am. Let's get started.
All right. So, do you guys watch the Housewives of Potomac or any of those housewives series at all?
Yes,
Yeah.
I used to watch Atlanta, of course, right? But I haven't watched them in like a few seasons. But I stay abreast through, social media on, some of the big things that's happening, and of course Potomac as well. But yeah.
Well, we have some very interesting news coming out of Potomac.
It's always
Um,
interesting coming out there.
Juan Dixon, who is a former basketball player, was married to Robin Dixon, who is one of the co-stars on the show Real Housewives of Potomac. Well, I don't know if you know their background, but they ended up actually divorcing. But here's the catch. They stayed in the same house throughout their entire divorce with their 2 children. And they ended up getting divorced because they had some financial turmoil. Someone stole all of their money and depleted all of their accounts. And so they were kind of forced to live together. Well, something must have been going on in them rooms and in between them sheets, baby, because, honey, they went from being exes to having sexes. All right. And so now they have gotten back together again, and not just back together. They have just announced that they have now remarried. Ladies, do you think that you could spin the block on a marriage? Like, I don't know how that works. Is that something you think you could do?
You know what? Let me speak on that first. Let me speak on that. I don't know. I don't know if it's such a good idea because it's kind of like the problems you had before. Some of them, like, you can't fix them. So I just don't even know if you can really like do it the second time around, how it's gonna work. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna get that a thumbs down. Not no.
Thumbs down.
They should have just, one should have got his own place. She should have gone on wherever she was going.
But they didn't want
Stop
the
all
kids
that.
to know that they were getting divorced. They
But
didn't
they were
want the
getting
kids to know.
divorced. They got
I
divorced
know.
anyway.
They
That was
said that they were going to
crazy.
stay together for the kids and, like I said, for the finances. So because they were
And for them
financially dependent
sheets.
on each
And
other,
for them
they
sheets.
never told the kids that they got divorced.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Like, why even do it in the first place? Stop playing around. I don't see it working. I don't know the stats, but marrying the same man second time around, I'm gonna get it a thumbs down. What you think,
Okay.
Ty?
So I mean, here's the thing. For me, would I spin a block on a marriage? I mean, it would have to be like some very like, extenuating circumstances. I mean, I don't know, right? I'm not gonna say yes, I'm not gonna say no. And I'm happy for them that they, could get back together and try to make their family work. But just like NAllen said, I don't know if you can rectify the things. I don't know if it's because they're like just like, hey, let's just go ahead, let's chill, let's settle down or whatever. But like okay. But I don't know if I'm be able to on a whole marriage, maybe a past relationship or something like that. But I don't know. A whole
Get out of
marriage,
that
like
recycle bin.
remarried after I divorced you the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yes.
Well, see,
Stay out of the recycle bin. Stay out of it.
I kind of like the idea. I kind of like the idea a little bit. I mean, because you have like gone through the worst of the worst. Like I don't think it could get any worse than this, right? Like, and they managed some kind of way to still raise their two boys together, even though they were experiencing their own hardships as adults. They didn't let it impact the kids. And I think that's like very, very important.
And
That
I
is
would
super
say,
important. They kept that family unit intact. And I mean, from what I can tell, doesn't look like they've caused, any damage to the children. And clearly they loved each other. They just were going through something that they felt at that time it was difficult to overcome. And I'm sure everybody's been through those type of moments. But even though they got divorced on paper, it doesn't seem like, it destroyed their friendship and the ultimate foundation of whatever their relationship was built from, which is why they were able to rebuild from the ground up. And now they have what they have. I like it.
I'm with it. I mean, if it works for them, then I'm with it.
What you say? If they like it, I love it.
If they like it, I love it.
Don't worry about it. I'm sure we're gonna see how this unfolds next season.
Right.
Exactly. We'll have a whole new storyline for the girls now. So, but y'all, I have another one here now. Get into this. I'm gonna play this clip for you guys. I think I'm gonna try to play a clip. This clip is of TK Kirkland, and he has said some very interesting things as it pertains to the Me Too movement, how he feels women should move when they feel that they may have been violated. Y'all get into this.
Here we go.
Let's talk about the DA prosecutors. Y'all got to start checking in to make sure these people tell the truth. To the ladies, and I say this in my stand as well. If a man ever violates you, and I tell my daughters this too, you got an hour to go report it. An hour, not 30 years, not 50 years. 1 hour. You can't come back years later and say X, Y, and Z. And then let's talk about the DA prosecutors. Y'all got to start checking.
All right. So, thoughts? What do we think?
Child, you already know I feel like that's problematic.
What's problematic?
So let me make sure I get this straight.
Ooh.
If you're sexually assaulted or whatever, you got 1 hour to go and report it. In his opinion.
Yes. That's what he said.
From what time? From what point? From when the time that you may have been released from the kidnapping, from the time that you may have been, whatever, from the time that you've, set yourself from an hour from when?
So an hour from the incident, it sounds like. So if you feel that something has happened to you, I guess he's like, you probably need to raise your hand and say something sooner
Now,
rather than later.
right.
No, I
He
don't.
says not in 20
No.
years, not in 30 years, not in 50 years.
So,
Not now, but
so,
right now.
so he would be okay with Bill right now, Bill Cosby, because it's like all these, delayed reports. Bill is like shouldn't have had to go to jail or anything for that, right?
Be- because what happens after the hour? Like what's after that hour? After that, when she gets to 59 minutes and 58 seconds, like what happens then? She not
Then
get
you too late.
arrested?
You too late. You better go take a
You
nap.
already I'm sorry.
Going on like put that in
Or
the back of your
anyone for that
mind. Just
matter. I
forget
mean,
about
well,
it.
let's be
Forget
real, but
about it. Forget about it.
Y'all
Yeah.
gonna hate me then.
What you say? What you got, boss?
We gotta be fair. We gotta be
Yeah.
fair. We
Yeah.
have to be fair. I have a 14-year-old boy, and it would be something. It's gonna be some furniture moving. You come for my baby 12, 15 years from now talking about something that he did to you in the 8th grade. Like it has something gotta give here. No, I don't. I mean, I will take my little stand or whatever. Like, y'all leave Dr. Huxtable out of this, okay?
Okay.
Dr. Huxtable, leave him alone, okay? Whatever happened with Bill Cosby happened well before I was born. And these waves of pile on and, oh, let me wake up because I feel like ruining your life today. It has to be some level of accountability on both sides. If
Yeah.
someone has done something to you, and I think it's pretty fair to say that we've all probably been in some uncomfortable situations before, right?
True.
And you make a decision at that moment or the following hours or whatever, you replay things in your mind. It's kind of like, well, I said, and he did, or I did, and well, maybe I shouldn't. That's a natural thing. You replay it over and over, like, what could I have done differently? And I'm not even saying anything as aggressive as, actual like penetration or anything like that. But we've all had uncomfortable moments. And you decide at that moment what you want to do. You can't just come to me with no proof, no evidence. I watch a lot of Law and Order, okay? I know how this supposed to go. I see,
girl, I'm
they
over you.
the girls don't.
Hold on, let me ask you a question though, because are you saying, are you sticking to this hour that he put out here?
Not
Or you
necessarily an
You
hour,
don't
but
want it to be.
you can't. You don't. I absolutely.
You can't come back 5
it's
years
gotta be
later.
a
You can't
hard
come back
line
6
in the
months
So
later.
sand.
let me,
You
let
can't
me
just wake
right.
up because you feel like it and
Well,
ruin my life in 20 years.
And listen, and I can understand that point to. I can understand that to a point. I can understand it to a point. But are we talking about this one? You got 1 hour to go do what you need
No,
to
nobody's.
do.
I think the hour. Like, let's not. I think we don't want to get too literal. I don't think he meant a real hour. But the point of the story, like, you need to say something. If something has happened, his whole
Mhm.
thing is everybody needs to be held accountable. It is completely unfair. Like, if I just decide right now to pick a name out of a hat for somebody I thought looked at me strange, and I'm like, you know what?
Well,
I
I'm
seem to
not.
remember this.
Like, I'm not saying nothing about false accusations. Like, I'm not about to say, oh, for
False
this
or not,
reason.
you need to be able to prove whatever it is that you're saying.
So we
If
just
we
so
don't have any type
We
of
want to shout
proof,
out to the chat too, y'all. Shout out
if
to
we
our
don't have
chat.
any type of proof of something happening, then I mean, it's just not fair. It sets up entirely too much power on a woman's side to be able to be conniving and deceitful. And oh, I got these levers I could pull. I'm real, man. Like I don't like it. I don't like it.
So
It's
we're
not
gonna just
fair.
dismiss
I would
all the
never want somebody to do that to
psychological.
my child. I wouldn't want somebody to do that to my child. Like,
So we're
no.
just gonna dismiss like everything that happens to a person, that not just a woman, men too, because it happens. So let's be fair. So we just dismiss everything that happens to a person when this happens to them and say, oh, this is your timeline to say something, and if you don't say something, then oh well, because we ain't do the swab.
Now, I'm not an attorney, but I do believe most things have some sort of
Well,
statute of limitations,
I
right?
mean, we
And
can
so,
we can talk about the legal piece, but I'm just saying, like,
but even my point is, things have statutes of limitations for a reason.
Right.
You just can't
I'm with
pull
Joy.
something out the clear blue sky just because you feel like it.
When I
If
say we
it
talk about the legal
happened,
piece,
and
we can discuss people, you know, we can discuss like how things are being, portrayed in the media or portrayed in the legal system or anything like that. But if a person actually was sexually assaulted at one point in their life, and they're just now getting to, I don't know, to the point where they feel like they can say something because maybe they've been, under duress. I don't know. I have no idea. Right.
So what timeline would you put on it, Ty? Like, how
I
far would you
mean,
let it go on? Like, is it
I
fair? Do
mean,
you think it's fair? Like, if something happens today, you're 20 years old, and then you come back, you're 42 and you're married, you got a 20-year-old son yourself at this point. Do you think that it's still like should be like the punishment should be the same at that extended period of time?
well, that's what I was saying. Like when it comes to like the legal piece of it and you put in timelines and that's something separate. But to say someone didn't do something just because it's 20 years later.
Well, we're not
You know
saying
what
they didn't do it. We're saying like to come back and
they
report it
just
to
be
the
going about their
police.
business.
you need to say something. You need to speak up
Right
loudly,
now.
quickly.
Yes, like right now. Don't wait
Quickly.
till like 20 years. I want to come press
You
charges on
can't be
Ty
at a
from
All
in
right,
20
y'all.
years.
from
I'm
Howard.
I'm
Let's go to the
have
next
to
one. And shout
disagree.
out to everybody in the
I'm gonna have to
chat.
disagree.
Doug says that Ty is triggered by those words, guys.
Yeah.
That is it. He says Ty is triggered. Shout out
Well,
to Doug MPA.
that is so funny.
Cassandra
Well,
says the longer you wait, you can talk yourself out of reporting it based on your fears.
Thank
So, I
you.
mean, but she's saying still,
and then
the
you talk
sooner the
yourself
better.
into it in 15 years, 20
But
years.
if someone is, I'm gonna let y'all got it.
What we got up next, Joy? Let's go to the next one, Joy.
Y'all got it.
What'd you say? Go off, sis.
Go off.
Go off, sis.
Go off. All right. So next up, you guys, Lala Anthony and Carmelo Anthony have divorced. They were married for about 10 years. We knew Lala from when she was on MTV, and she's about
DJ.
10 years older than Carmelo Anthony is. Well, apparently their marriage or the dissolve of their marriage has left her with some type of feelings about marriage at all. You guys check this clip out and let's talk about it. That didn't work. Let's try that again. Let's see. One more time.
Shout out to Jalen Ron says, not Mello, not Carmelo.
My baby.
That I know.
That's who it is. Girl.
And not happy and don't want to be married. They would prefer to be single. And what's happening is people look at the stats and they say, oh, well, divorce rates are going down. But the issue is less people are getting married. People don't want to get married.
This morning, Lala came up here and she was hot. She was on fire. I don't know why. She came in at 6 o'clock this morning, was on fire. She was like, I have something I want to talk today on air. So I'm going to let her go.
Say, F marriage.
Yeah, so I was talking about, I feel like currently marriage is not a goal for people. I don't hear people who aren't married saying like, I want to get married. You just start hearing it less and less. Like before that was a goal, like before social media and just the way people interact now. I'm not in conversations with people who are talking about like, I can't wait to meet someone and get married. Now people say, yeah, I want to meet somebody, be in a relationship, have this bond, but I don't need the marriage piece to feel like it's successful. And most, I'm not saying all, be careful with my words, most married people that I know are miserable and not happy and don't want to be married. They would prefer to be single. And what's happening is people look at the stats and they say, oh, well, divorce rates are going down. But the issue is less people are getting married.
All right. Well, she said a lot. Are we dating to be married or are we dating for right now?
I would say I think people are I think people are getting married. I don't know the stats, but I don't think they're dating for. I don't think they're getting married for long term. Like they already have it set in their minds. Like this is not gonna be like our parents married 30, 40 years. It's like okay, I get a good 5 out of it. I did it.
What is like a prize that you get when you go to a theme park? Like what I don't understand what you're saying.
Wait, hold up. So you saying people go into the marriage with like a it's going to end, or
I'm saying they're getting married because like people want weddings. I don't think that people are getting married with the idea of forever. And we're all kind of a little skeptical. And I think that people are just not. You're like, okay, well, I'm not surprised it didn't last forever. That's what I think. I I
well,
could be
so
wrong, but that's what
so
I
I
think.
was
I think that they are getting married. The ones that are getting married, I think people like the whole idea. We all want a fairy tale for the most part, but I don't think that people are thinking about being married forever. I don't. I don't. So it's like, oh, if
What do
I
you
got
think the
5 years, if I
expiration
got
date?
10 years,
10
I'm
years,
doing excellent. Yeah,
10 years, 2 kids, and
that was
that's
good.
it. Like we done.
That was good. That was good. I'm still gonna get a dog and a cat. You know,
I
I'm still
can't.
gonna do that. But I've been married. Check that off the list. So that's what
so
I
I
think.
I will agree that a lot of people are getting married for the visual, right? They want the big wedding. They want, they
Mhm.
want all their family to come. They want to do the little wedding dances. And a lot of them don't necessarily prepare past the honeymoon, right? Or that wedding day. Um, and do I feel like that's a goal? Maybe for some people and maybe not. You know what I mean? Like some people want to get married, some people don't want to get married. That's their prerogative, right? But I will agree that a lot of people are getting married for the wrong things, definitely for the wrong things. And then they find out, whether it's 1, 2, 7, 10, or 15 years later that they got, that they don't want to be in that union. But I don't know the stats. So if so, I mean, it makes sense if divorce rates are going down and marriage rates are going down as well. I mean, that makes sense. But I guess to me, it just feel, yeah, yeah. I see a lot of people getting married for the
Hold
wrong
on.
things, but I
I'm gonna
also
get it
see a
out.
lot of people who get married for the right things and who are very much so into each other. They're
Mhm.
the complements of each other. They're puzzle
You bring
pieces.
me a paper towel.
Hmm?
I'm,
What happened?
The ghetto came. Don't worry about it. It's
I'm
all
sorry.
right.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I'm a little bit torn. I've never been married. I've never been engaged. Um, I have a lot of thoughts about it. For one, I think it's entirely too easy to get into and out of a union. Um, if it wasn't so easy to just throw your hands up and be like, "Oh, I'm out of here," people would be able to work through whatever those problems are that they have and not just run at the first sign of he left toothpaste on the sink. Like, bitch, what's wrong? What for real? Like, stop it. It doesn't even make any sense. It's entirely too easy to get rid of somebody who you've claimed to love, who you've claimed to be in for the rest of your life, and you done cried all your makeup off and all of it. It's ridiculous. I think it's way too easy to get out of marriages. I think that the threshold for whatever those pain tolerances are have gotten lower and lower with each generation. One of the things that I know could potentially be a deal breaker for some people, may not be others, is cheating, right? Well, marriages are not built the way that they used to be built. Back in the day, you had dad had a family across town. Ain't nobody getting divorced up in here. Now, like I said, we get divorced over frivolous reasons, and I don't get it. Another thing is, like, when I say getting into the marriage, what have you invested? This idea that you're supposed to spend 3 months salary on a wedding ring. If you done put 30, 40, $50,000 into somebody of your hard-earned money, you probably gonna be like, hold on, I gotta maybe we can talk about this a little bit more. It's more invested. So I think it's way too easy to get into and out of marriages at this point. And so that's kind of my thing about it. It doesn't make sense to me.
I could agree to an extent. I agree with that. I think it's way, it's easy to get married and probably, easy to get divorced. But I don't want to discount the fact that sometimes people get married because they think that it is the like right thing to do for whatever they think are all the right reasons. And that's dependent on, their criteria. But
the reason that people have told them that they're supposed to get married,
right, whatever the
idea, like, oh, you get
dream
pregnant, you're supposed to have a husband kind of thing, and now that doesn't really exist anymore, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of people out there who still believe in, I think someone referenced it in the chat, like Disney World, Princess, and all that other stuff, and that's fine. And it's like that.
It has to be both people. Both people have to believe in it.
True. I mean,
it has to be both.
It's like that for, it's like that for a lot of people. And like I said, I've seen, couples, even recently, some of my friends getting married who actually love, their spouses, who want to be with them, who want to share life with them and they feel like it's forever. I'm not about to say that they're getting married for, nefarious reasons or something like that. But then, some people like, yeah, no, I got married for blah, 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 blah. And it ain't you don't see that in Disney World at all. Right. So, I mean, not saying that everything should be, built off of, a dream or a fairy tale or whatever, but the stuff that people get married for that ain't, used to be like.
So do you think it's societal pressures or is it parental pressures? Because like I said before, it would be like your parents are like, you got to marry that girl, you got her pregnant or whatever is, their situation.
It's a little bit of everything. I mean, people feel pressure from everywhere, whether it's their parents, whether, you might have, you've gotten someone pregnant. I mean, just depends your religion, your family, your environment, from society. I think people get pressures from all aspects of life. Right.
Yeah.
And yeah,
and those are the ones, they don't last. They don't last. Those kind of marriages. Even if you do marry for love, I just do not believe that most people who are getting married, those of us who have had the opportunity to experience it, some people are just not in it like for long term. I don't think they even have long term on their minds when they come into it.
True.
And especially like somebody like Carmelo, I think like it took him a long time to marry her anyway, right? They dated for a long time. They had a child. They had a lot. It was like a long time before they got married. So it was just like, then they stayed married for a little while. Then it was over because it was like how they went into it. It was, to me, it kind of looked like it just wasn't the best of situations anyway. It wasn't set up for success to me because it took him a long time. I feel like we all were like, is he ever going to marry her? He's not going to marry her. And then they got married. So in that case, she can't even like act like she's surprised. I just don't think it's even fair of her to be out here being bitter like that because it kind of is giving bitter vibes to me. It is giving bitter vibes. It is. Y'all know it.
I would say I'm not even gonna lie, coming from her, it is giving me a little like scorn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she has so much energy. Like, okay, if you want to get married, cool. But don't be out here like, no, people, stop that.
I mean, she's speaking from experience, right? So she's she's divorced, right? So,
but she has had the chance to experience it, And it's like, that's not fair to people who haven't. Let them keep dreaming. It's like before you have a baby, like people don't tell you all the stuff that's coming along with that. Not everything, because if you did, you wouldn't do it.
So you think that she's discovering this post-divorce that now, like some of the men in her dating pool aren't interested in being married?
I think so. I think the man she married wasn't really interested in being married. To just go ahead and put it out there. At the time, Carmelo was not trying to be married. I think like she pressured him. I think so.
I'm
now she's like whatever, and it's the context too. Like for what she's doing, like y'all see her in the movies and stuff she's doing now on TV. It's like, come on, what you trying to do? Are you trying to get married again? You're not even presenting yourself in a way like you want to be a wife. Y'all see her on Power and whatever else she was on. She's like, she's wilding out. Seriously, she is wilding.
She's working. She's earning a paycheck.
She's working. She ain't got to do all that.
Hold on now.
Married to Carmelo for however long. She got his son. Come on. She could do a little VJ job again. She could be doing a little VJ thing like she was doing before. She don't have to be like sleeping with Tommy on
MTV that you
Power.
want her to go back to
Right. What
MTV.
video you
Lakeisha,
seen on
Lakeisha,
TV?
she's sleeping with Tommy on Power. What other show she was on?
She not sleeping with
The
this people.
Shy.
Let's pretend.
On the Shy. She way too like she's showing everything. She's doing the most. Y'all know it. She like, hey, divorce. I'm divorced. Y'all check me out. You know.
No, her butt did get awfully big after that divorce, though. I ain't gonna
It
lie.
looked crazy. She was walking around looking like an ant.
It was
Seriously.
like, girl,
Seriously,
what's
she
wrong
was
with
looking like
you?
an ant, and y'all know it. That was crazy. So she
Moving
coming out here
right
acting all mad, and now she
along.
old, you know. So it's like, girl, sit down. It's over.
Moving
down.
right along.
Well, I certainly hope that that's not the situation, that people do actually still want to get married, but it does seem like
Yeah.
it's not as common and the idea is fading away because, you know, we have new norms with each generation. So
Right.
anyway, what else? What's they 2 cents, girl? What they talking about?
Shout out to the chat.
All right, yeah. So if you're in the chat, we see you guys in the chat. We appreciate it. Let's see who we got in here. So I think Alyssa says, I wonder who initiated the divorce between, I
She
guess, Lala.
did.
That's that. What y'all know? Y'all know
She did.
70% of women filing for divorce.
She did.
She
She
did.
did.
He did. He had a baby. He had a side
Yeah,
baby.
he had a baby on her. Yep. Ma'am on the bottom, I disagree. When love comes from God, it's real, but that I love you too horny people say during sex is being used as a new love when it's not. Ain't that what you said?
That's
Isn't
kind
that
of what
you
I
said?
said. Yeah.
Huh?
That's what I mean.
Okay,
I
okay.
agree. Yeah, we agree, Brian.
Yeah. Lala is being chased by younger men. She spoke out about this already. Probably so. I don't doubt
And the
it.
younger men don't want to get married. Is that what you're saying?
Alicia says again, hopefully she'll find peace at some point, but time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Doug MPA says men initiate 100% of marriages and women initiate 80% of divorces. Digest that. It makes me sick. Look, people say 100%, but I didn't see some wild social media posts of women on their knees, but that's
Women
another show
proposing?
for another day.
What was that girl on that hip hop show?
Chrissy with
Yeah.
Jim
Chrissy.
Jones.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Would y'all ever do that? Would y'all do
Yeah.
it?
Can we say
No,
like
ma'am.
99.99999%?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah.
she did get turned down too.
They still together.
Who's
and they
this?
still
KP
not
from
married.
KC5 says she gonna get one of her son's friends. Watch Jada Pinkett route coming soon, or like Michael Jordan's son.
Michael Jordan's son.
Oh yes, Larsa
Larsa
play
Pippen.
with me.
Come on,
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And we got TLA in the chat, so
Good
thank you
people.
for coming through, TLA. Thank you so much coming through. Doug says, let's talk about Russell Wilson and Sierra.
What about him?
Uh,
Now, I will say this.
We
Now,
support
the
it.
one thing I don't like about some of these little Hollywood married couples, like, don't be showing us all your highlights. We want to see some of the dirt too. Like, let's be realistic about it. It ain't all roses and fairy dust over there.
Right.
Now you know that's not what social media is for. Social media is
I
to
hate
show
that too.
the
Like,
highlight
I
reel.
know people be together and they like, we got the greatest love of all. My love is the best love that ever loved in love's history. And then it's like,
you don't send out Christmas cards this year and they know it.
where'd he go? What happened?
All right,
We didn't get our
all
Christmas
So
cards
we'll
this year. What's going on with
We'll
them?
come back to the chat. All right,
Yes.
so let's get to the meat of it. Let's get to the thick of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So today's topic is a good man isn't good enough. And so I'm pretty sure by now everyone has seen this, viral clip, whether on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, of a young lady on a podcast, 3 young ladies on a podcast. And I have the video here, so I'm not going to go too much into it. We're going to we're going to listen to it. And then when we get back, we can talk about it a little bit. All right, ladies?
All right.
Sometimes a woman can talk her out of a relationship. You can talk. We do that.
Yes,
We will talk.
I'm gonna say something, and this might ruffle little feathers. I don't think just being a good man is enough. to stay in a relationship with them.
But when I say a good man, I mean like he's good. All that means all around. That means himself, spiritually, mentally, physically.
That's great.
Healthily, like he's a good man.
That doesn't mean that he's the man for you. And
Right.
maybe when you're going through these motions of getting to know him, you're realizing, okay, he's a great person, but honestly, I don't fuck with his humor. Like he could be funny, but he's not funny to me.
And that's why a lot of modern women are getting 40 with 4 cats and no man, because he's a good man, but because he's not funny, you gotta throw that out. Sometimes a woman.
All right. So did y'all hear it?
Well, as a resident 40-year-old, I don't have 4 cats. Okay. And I do think that humor is important. It is.
Mic drop.
It is.
So Joy, so you feel like, so let me ask you a question, and this is to, both of you guys. Who do you most agree with? Do you agree with, the young lady who said, being a good man isn't good enough? Do you agree with the other young lady that says, basically she dismissed that claim, saying this is what's going to happen to you? Do you agree with the one in the middle who was just sitting there with all the reactions?
So I think that 2 things can be true at the same time. I absolutely wholeheartedly believe, and I think she probably used humor as just an example, but in my example, it's a real thing. Like, you have to be compatible. Your personalities have to mesh. Like, it has to be like, if we're going to have some intimacy, we should be able to have like inside jokes. Like, if you are vastly different than I am in terms of what you perceive to be funny and your interests, we're not going to make it very far, no matter how much money you have, no matter how many doors you open, and all of the zhuzh. The other thing I want to also say is we need to be really careful about elevating this idea of a good man. Like, damn, that's the basic. Like, be a nice person. Like, that's the bare minimum that you can do. But on the other side, I feel like, we can't be very picky. Like, I have seen some of my friends just dissect a man before. Like, I don't like his fingernails.
Girl, really?
But hold on. So let me ask you a question. So let's just say you have this, you have a standard of or you have a standard of what you're attracted to, right? Or whatever is a good man to you, right?
Yeah.
And let's just say this man, checks this 10 boxes and he checks, 8 to 9 of them. You're saying, if there's 2 boxes or whatever there, you're just not gonna do it.
I have to and failed.
For me, it's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and agree with the, a good man might not be good enough, but you have to let us explain. We can't just leave it at that, okay?
Okay.
So it's like a guy, I use the term a no face. Sorry, y'all don't beat me up. He has no face. He's not cute. He's not really ugly, but it's like his personality is amazing. It's like he is so cool. You don't even see it. Like, you don't even know what he looks like because you're just like overwhelmed with like how cool he is and how y'all vibe and y'all have chemistry. It's like chemistry is very important to me. Like, I'm not like a stickler for like, whatever the 6s are. What are the 6s? These 6 feet, six figures. And what's the other 6? 6 inches, which I don't even know how you know, unless you got to be probably some kind of 3 or 4, and you can like eyeball it and tell like, oh, that's about 6. Like, how can you like, how do you know? But anyway, I'm about chemistry, and if it's like, you may not be like, attracted to someone else, you might not even start out attracted to me, but if after we have a conversation and we like, we have chemistry, I feel like, okay, we vibing, I'm gonna go ahead and like, give it a chance. I'm gonna at least entertain it because I'm just like that much of a stickler. But like, just like, oh, I have a job, I have a car, I have a house. I mean, but I'm not running into a lot of people who don't have that. That's my disclaimer.
Bare minimum. What are you talking about?
Because it's like those 3 things.
You should.
They had on a check mark. It's like, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect somebody to have those things, right?
But you feel like you gotta be able to have the chemistry. You gotta be able to connect with this person.
Yeah. If we vibing, like, I'm like, that's not my usual type. Like, if I had a dream guy in my head, what he would look like. But, you know, if we like having good conversation, we on the same wave, I would like, give it a little time and pursue it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. No, I
That's
agree
what
with that.
it's me.
Yeah, me too.
So I'll be honest, I agree with both of you ladies. I feel like, there are a lot of good men, and I feel like that term good man is very subjective from woman to woman. So what could be good to you may not be good to me, may not be good to the next woman. And the same thing with, when men talk about good women, right? So what's a good woman to them? I ain't for everybody, and I don't, and I'm okay with that, right? But so when we say a good man, do you feel like there's some, like, I don't know, basic universal good man traits, qualities, or something like that? That when we talk about these good people, man or woman, or is everything subjective?
I think everything is subjective. But again, when we start talking about what is a good person, like, I hope you don't murder. I mean, I hope you don't, unalive people in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? Like, basic stuff that I think that we could all agree on. But then when we start to get into things like chivalry, right? Like, if you've never seen it, you don't really expect it. So it might be a little uncomfortable, a little weird. You might be like, oh, this guy's thirsty. You know, that might not be your thing, but to somebody else, they're like, no, that's a must. Like, you got to
open my door. He should open my door every time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it just varies from person to person. But I think on a universal level, I think we all have a good idea what a good person is supposed to be like.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you both a question. Do you think there's a difference? I know we said it's all subjective from person to person, but do you think men define a good man differently than women define good men?
Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of them think they good men, and we be like, "What?"
Yes.
I mean, whatever.
You know what I'm saying? You know, baby. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mean to get a pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I came home, didn't I?
What? Right.
Oh, you came home.
You still mad about that? But anyway, yeah. So I think what men think is a good man is different from what women think, and I think that even with us, as time passes, things that are acceptable, they are no longer acceptable, and vice versa. So it's like, yeah, they don't know. They think they know what we think, but we in our own world. Like, no, that's not a good man. That's like, no, he talking crazy. He's doing this. He's smoking. He drinking. He cursing. He acting a whole fool out here. No, like, we don't. You talk to a man, they don't. They give you a completely different definition of what a basic, like, good man is.
Okay, so then here's the question. So what do you think, like, men base it on that's different from what women base it on, right? Because you hear this whole logic.
They're just basing it on the facts. We on feelings too. We on feelings.
Right.
You heard me say chemistry. Yeah.
Right.
They're like, I have a job, I make this. This is a fact. I have a home, this is my address. This is a fact. I have a car, this is what I drive. This is a fact. I think that's what men do. They like, this is the table, and we're like, I wasn't feeling him. That's what we do.
Yeah, I think that's
cute,
Yeah.
But sometimes a man will say, like, she was a, maybe they talking about exes or whatever. I've seen this, right? Like, oh, she was a good woman. I just, I wasn't either in the right frame of mind, or she was boring. She ain't, do what she.
She only cooked 2 times a week, man. I mean, 3 times a week. You gotta cook at least 3 times. I mean,
you gotta give them 3
Sundays. Stop it. Stop.
So I would say, so for me, like, I would say, yes, I think my definition of a good man may be like, totally different from, what a man sees as that. So I guess the next question would be, like, if you're trying to be a good man or a good woman, like, who would you base your whatever that is off of? Like, who would you, if I say, oh, I want to be a good woman, who should I base it off of? Should I base it off of what men say, or should I base it off of what, like, women say?
I think we should base it off, be a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
Be a good friend. Like, the boys love the boys more than they love the girls. Like, I have seen men have beautiful, authentic, deep, passionate romances with each other.
Yes.
And then it comes to the girl, and it's like they don't even know what to do with. They're like, sacrifice just half of what you give him, like, and we'll be all right. Like, it's just be a good friend mutually. It goes both ways, but mutually. I think if you start with being a good friend to your partner, there are certain things that you just won't do to your friend. That's how I feel. Some boundaries just may not potentially be crossed if you really value that person's friendship.
Yeah. What do y'all think in the chat?
What's
The
going
lead
on in the
attorney
chat? What's going?
has started some mess in this chat
I was
saying
gonna
that
see it. Like, I already know it.
I
already
said
know
that
it.
I would pass over a good man because he couldn't dress. That is not what I said. But we know how he is with the wordplay. I said he could dress better. That's all I said. I never said I would turn a man down because he couldn't dress. I would say like, oh, I could dress him up. But that's
I
just
feel
what
like that's something that you're like between. Let's just say you met someone and he maybe not he doesn't necessarily present well, right? I feel like that's something like that's not a deal breaker for me, right? That's not like a non-negotiable for me. I feel like if his personality or whatever attracts me. Now, do I want a man to present well? In my eyes, yeah, I want him to present well to me, right? I want to be attracted to the man. But if it's something like, babe, you might want to loosen up the pants a little bit, just a tiny bit, because I can see the whole print or something like that, and it don't really look good because you probably take after your mother and with the hips or something like that. No, that's not negotiable for y'all. How a man dresses.
No, I don't really care. I mean, I care and I don't care at the same time. Like, I think when I was younger, I was more like, is he wearing platinum FUBU? Now it's more like, I don't care if your clothes come from H&M. You know what I mean?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's negotiable. Like, he don't necessarily gotta be Gucci down to the socks, right? But just present well, and then if there's some minor tweaks, maybe you can put the cowboy boots away for me today, right? We can wear them another day, but
like I can buy you clothes. Like, it's not.
Let's see this. So, is a good man hard to find? Do y'all think are they out there? Are they available? Are they in the chat talking mess? Are they available? The good men, these good men, even if they call themselves good men, if we define them as good men, are they out there? Are we finding them? Are they available? What do y'all think about that?
They are not hard to find. And that is my stance when I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, I just can't find, or, I totally disagree. I feel like there are a lot of good men out there for what I define as a good man, right? I feel like I can't throw a rock without hitting one, honestly. But people have different experiences, but within my circle, I know that there are a lot of good men by my definition within my
what's
circle.
your definition of a good man then? These men that you are finding that are readily available.
Well,
what's your definition?
Honestly, so we were when we talking about this subject and everything like that, I kind of was like, okay, let me write down, let me seriously, I've never wrote down a list of things or whatever, right? But let me seriously think about what is good for me. And so let me just preface that this is for Ty. This is not for anyone else on this panel. This is not for anyone in the chat. This is what I deem as someone who is good. Now, I am all here for the base of, good morals, good, good character, nice person. He's he's friendly, whatever. I'm here for, protect, provide. I'm here for that. That's base things for me. But I also feel like, I want someone that's smart, you know what I mean? Well-versed, right? Someone who can speak on many topics, maybe not every single thing, but for me, that's something that I am attracted to, a man that can, that is smart and well-versed and can speak on a lot of things. I like a man that's like confident. You know, he knows who he is.
Swag.
Right. You know, he knows who he is, and he's not necessarily going to be, you know, knocked off his square by someone saying he's not who he thinks he is. Right now, you don't have to be like, you know, this cocky person and come in every room and saying, you know, I'm the man. That's not what I'm looking for, but just someone who's confident. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room, but you can be a confident man. I want someone that's reasonable, respectful, and respected. Right. So he's reasonable. He's an understanding person. You can talk to him. You know what I mean? He may not come in thinking one way, but if you talk to him, you present, you know, your I don't want to say your argument, because it's not, doesn't have to necessarily have to be an argument, but you present, you know, your side of something. He's reasonable. He can find common ground within that, right? He's respectful. He's not out here, you know, he's not out here in the chat getting funky. You know what I mean?
These black women.
Against other people, other women, whether or not he disagrees with them or not, right? He's just respectful. And, you know, and a lot of times until you like disrespect him, he's gonna, you know, give you the respect. And then he's respected. His peers, his family, his friends, you know, people, his co-workers, whomever, like, see him as like a respected man. He says what he does what he says he's gonna do, you know, that type of person. And then, you know, of course, he need to love, you know, he definitely has to love God, you know, love God, love family and stuff like that. That's a good man to me. And I feel like there are a lot of good men within my circle of peers, family, co-workers. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying there's enough of them, and there's enough single of them that, you know, for people to actually, you know, I don't believe in that, you know, they're hard to find.
What you think, Joy?
Yeah.
The men are hard to find. The good men, they're hard to find.
Yeah, I think, and not because they don't exist. What I'm saying is, I think when you matriculate out of college, your pool becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. So you look up, 20 years have gone by, and it's like you have men that have these love affairs, entanglements, or whatever with with women that they used to be with, maybe the mother of their children, maybe a current relationship that they're involved in, maybe both at the same time. You never know. It's always like it when you're looking at a scenario where you've gone so long throughout life, you're bound to come with something, you know, somebody, some baggage, something's lurking behind you. And it's virtually impossible for someone to come like, nope, just me. And when I say just me, I'm not saying like kids and things like that, but to not be attached in some capacity emotionally to somebody else. So when I say it's difficult, I mean, yeah, it's difficult to find someone that's not already in a situation. A lot of times they can present themselves to be single, but then you get down in there and it's kind of like, wait, hold on. I thought you said, and it's a joke when people say, you got a girlfriend, you married, you got anybody who think they're your girlfriend? Like,
you just separated from your wife and y'all not divorced.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. So it isn't that they don't exist. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, as you go through life, people come with other things. Now, my regret that I have is that I didn't know that sooner. I was completely oblivious to that idea. Had I known that I would have my widest pool in college, I would have paid more attention. I also can say that a lot of decisions I made was based on advice that I got from my peers. They ain't know nothing. I don't know what I was listening to them for.
He's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man.
So, you know, definitely made some missteps, you know, along the way. And so here we are. And now it's kind of like, well, everybody kind of, yeah, it's like, was it chairs when you go around the chair, musical chairs, and it's like, I'm gonna beat you to this chair. Like it becomes more difficult.
Yeah. He's a good man, Savannah, but you put him in the friend zone, you know. He's a good man, Savannah. He's just 5'9". He's not 6 feet. You know, are we seeing these men out in the streets and everywhere we go? Or are we even like putting ourselves in position to meet these men? Because it's like, you know, if you don't step outside of your comfort zone, or you don't leave the house, or you don't leave your city, you're not, are we like putting ourselves in position to actually meet these good men who are out here? I mean, I meet a lot of people at work. I meet people everywhere. Because I'm always different places. I like travel, do whatever. But it's like, are we putting ourselves in position to even meet these people? So if we say good men are hard to find, but are we out there where they're at, or are they even out? Where are they at home? Are they getting out, or are they just online? Like, where are they? How are we not like in similar places?
So I'll tell anybody this. If you are like seriously thinking about like dating, the first thing you need to do, honestly, is close your laptop and go outside, honestly, because a lot of times we get into these online spaces, YouTube, social media, whatever, where you're swiping right on Tinder or whatever online dating app, and we get into these spaces, and people are so hard pressed online. They're so hard pressed into whatever their views are, right? But they don't talk like that in real life. They don't talk like that when you are face to face with them, and that's facts. Right? That is absolute fact. Now you'll get some one-offs, right, who are just dead set in whatever their beliefs are, right? Ain't no good man, ain't no good woman, you'll get those people, right? But for the most part, reasonable people, like everyday, run of the mill, like I'm really trying to like find someone I want to share my life with, or I'm dating, because I want to be with someone. Those people, you just got to close that laptop up. And I think a lot of people just get caught up in this online space, and they want to start, spouting people's talking points, from either side. And it's just like, I don't talk like when I talk, I don't talk to people like y'all. Right? Like, I just don't. Like, these people, the people that I hang around, the men and the women, you know what I mean? They don't speak like this. And then the first thing they say, well, they think like that. Well, then they must not portray that.
We want y'all to put a 1 in the chat if y'all think it's good men out here, or if you think you a good man. Put a 1. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think like, man, this is just a lost cause. The men suck. We suck as men. What do y'all put a 1 in the chat if you're a good man, or you got a good man, you know some good men, you meet good men. Put a 1 in there.
Put a 1 in the chat. Look at him.
Put a 2 in the chat if you want to be a hater. It's some good men out here. I think it's some good ones, but I think it's hard. It just depends on where you are, what you're doing. It's like I kind of like did this analogy. Like, it's like, okay, somebody comes to the consultation window, right? Then I say they look perfectly fine. This man he looks healthy. I'm looking at him. He seems okay. I don't know what his mental status is because I haven't talked to him yet. Okay, he comes up to the window. How can I help you? Then he says, he starts coughing. He says, I'm fine, but he's coughing. I said, okay. He has this cough. You need something for your cough. Okay. Have you taken anything else for this cough, right? What have you tried already? Did you go to a different pharmacy before you came here? You tried something, it didn't work. You didn't do it like they told you to do it. Like, what happened? Now I need to know, do you have any other allergies, any underlying health conditions? Come to find out, he got like high blood pressure and he has diabetes. Okay. I need to think about that before I make a recommendation, right? Okay, cool. Then find out he only started working out 2 years ago because he had his second heart attack. And this has a family history of all this drama. So I had to think about all of that before I decide to make a recommendation of, what I'm going to like. What can he take? What can he do? Then I'm like, and then I have high blood pressure too or something. And I got stress-induced ulcer. It's like, do I want to put all my mess with his mess? And it's like, at some point during your life, this person going to have to make decisions for you. If you get sick or whatever and all this, like, to death do us part, is like, are we really like, do I want to deal with all that? I don't know. And does he want to deal with my mess? This dating stuff, it's just way too complicated. But I think it's men out there. We got to weed them out, from the internet thugs. But, I think they're out there. I think they're out there. They're available. I think we can. They're within our reach, but you know, you gotta ask the right questions.
Somebody made a comment that things have changed because of what we see like on social media and these reality shows, and I'll agree with that. I think that full of flowers and have it dumped out on the floor for me when I get home. It's like, come on now. Some women are a little stupid. I'll agree with that.
You know, I'll be honest. I like simple things, right? Like you said, I don't need the big truck full of like roses and stuff like that. But if you thought about me on your way up the steps and you saw a little, what's them little yellow flowers called?
Carnation. No,
they're not the ones that be growing out the grass.
Dandelions, whatever them things are.
If you pick that up and said, you know what, Ty, you came in the door, you could hear.
Ain't that a weed?
I'd be like, oh, he love me. Or I'll take it like we used to do when we were little and just like never mind. I'm over it. Like, you know, you put it on your arm to make the little yellow whatever. Anyway, I don't need the big Mac truck full of roses. Honestly, it can be very, very simple for me.
Yeah, less is more. I agree with it.
All right.
Definitely. All right. So what we talking about in the chat? And Allie, you want to read some of these comments here?
Yeah, D-Town conversation said y'all gonna be single for a minute talking the way y'all talking. How we talking, D-Town?
That's on you.
How are we talking, D-Town? You stay in the chat because we're gonna drop the link at some point, right? And we're gonna bring y'all up. We want to hear from y'all.
The link is coming.
Yeah, we want to hear from y'all. D-Town says that. Narda says marriage is a thing of the past. I mean, you know, people are getting married not at a high rate, not staying married. We already know 70% of women filing for divorce. We already know that. But, you know, wishful thinking, right? Quick 504 says, I got tired of being a good man. I'm just focused on my purpose to move on in life. It's like being a good man. Like, I mean, how many of you all like feel like, you know, it's not even worth it? We want to be passport bros, or we just done with these women. We gonna just, you know, hit them and quit them. We gonna spin the plate or whatever else they say. Like, it's like I tried to be a good man. These black women are unreasonable. Like, they want too much. They want me to like go to work and come home. What the hell do they want? Like, what do they want? These black women, you know, it's like, y'all, let's be together. Let's work together. Yeah, that's what we want.
Better together.
But y'all like, I don't want to be a good man. It's like you finally get in a relationship, some of you, and then what? You messed that up. Like, seriously.
Do we have our expectations too high?
Women, I think a lot of us have our expectations are way too high. I think some of us have lower expectations that are too low. I think people need to stay in their lane. You need to take a look in the mirror and think about and see who you are as a person. Like, okay, this is who I am, and this is the kind of person, this is the kind of man that I want, right? Am I like carrying myself or in such a way where I can attract this kind of man that will want to be with me? But if you like, you can't be like out here looking like the women on Kevin Samuels, they calling his that were calling into him, thinking you're gonna go get with like some NBA player. Come on, you're being ridiculous. Like, come on. But if you like, you just want a normal working man, you know, cool. That's an attainable goal. People need to like look within first. That's where I think. Start with yourself. Like, okay, well, I'm not even going to places to even meet men like that. And if I do they want me? So I think that's, you know, I think people need to stay in their lane as far as like with the standards. Whatever your lane is, you need to drive in that one. That's what I think. What do you think, Ty?
So I totally agree. You need to know you first of all, you need to know who you are first, right? You need to know who you are and know how you present, right? And from that, you need to know what you're presenting. You need to know what that attracts. You just have to know it, right? And from that pool of people that are attracted to you, then that's where you should probably make your choice. Because if you want to go, and I won't say something's higher or lower, I would just say it's just outside of your lane, right? It's just outside of your target set, right? If you want something outside of your target set, then you need to figure out what those people want, right? If your target set wants this, and this, and if you aren't that, then you either need to, make your way towards that or readjust your sight picture. Okay. I say that, a lot of people say, well, opposites attract and all of that. And that's cool. I get it. Some people are opposites attract. I don't know how long those relationships last. I'm not judging that. But a lot of times men and women will say there's no good men out here or there's no good woman out here because either you get played or whatever have you. And it's because you're like outside of your lane. Like you have to be aware of self first and then understand how you present to others. And then know what the people, know what you're like know who's attracting to you. And if you don't like the people that are coming to you, that are approaching you, that are in your DMs, shooting their shots and stuff like that, if you're not getting enough of who you want, then that means you're not presenting well to the people that you want. And so you should probably adjust that if that's something you want. Or you should say, like, you know what? Maybe I do like the guy that's very like, funny. He makes everyone laugh. He's like a comedian. I thought I wasn't that person, but you know what? I kind of do like this guy. So, you got to just look at yourself. I think a lot of times we want to blame everyone else. We want to blame the women. We want to blame the men, but we're not necessarily looking at ourselves. And then what are you doing to actually put yourself out there, right? Because if you sitting at home, sitting at home, you're not going out, or maybe your pool is just social media or YouTube or whatever like that, and you're mad because you don't ever get approached or anything like that. I mean, what is someone supposed to do? They're supposed to just come find you? No, you have to. I always say women shoot their shots by making themselves available. That's how I say, right? Like, not necessarily.
Now you said you be making eye contact twice. You got two shots.
Listen,
twice.
If I give
what's your move, Ty? Show them your move. What you do?
If I give you,
guys, pay attention. This is how you know if Ty is available. If what she do it, Ty.
Listen, okay. If we're out, okay, and I give you the eye contact. That's one time, right? And if I come through again and I give you more eye contact, that's two times. That's two times.
So if y'all see that double look,
if you ain't if you ain't get it, then oh well.
That means the door is open. Like, come on,
lost out on a good
okay.
Yeah, that's my eye contact.
Somebody in the chat say more women should approach men. What do y'all think about that?
But y'all call them masculine or aggressive.
They do. That's true. That is true. What do they want? Do the men know what they want? They talk about.
I will say Chad Johnson's fiance approached him.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the Ocho Cinco?
Yeah. But Sherelle Rosado, she's a realtor, and they live in Florida, and she slid in his DMs. That's exactly how she got him. And her thing was, she said, well, he wasn't going to come find me.
And she went and got him, right?
Well.
But, I will say this, right? Because I think, who was this? Ashley Leanne, she brought up a good point, right? You don't want to start operating outside of yourself, right? You don't want to start like, the 666 dudes, they want, these type of women, so I'm gonna go and do this to make me look like these type of women, but that ain't really you, right? And so after maybe a few months, few years, you can't even maintain whatever that type of woman or or whatever. You don't want to not be yourself. You need to be yourself and be and know who you are. Be comfortable in your skin, and then know how that presents to everyone else. And from those people that are coming to you or approaching you, you need to pick the best of that, or the worst, or whatever you want in that pool, right? And that's so I don't agree with people trying to portray something that they aren't. just to
Yeah.
get what they want, because that's not gonna last, baby. You talking about people getting married for the wrong things. That's not gonna last, baby. You are not that person.
It goes both ways.
You are not her. You are not him, right? So don't try to be like, oh, you this and you that. You got this or you got that, and you do this, and then all of a sudden we find out that ain't even you. That's not even really you.
Mm-hmm.
The lead attorney says he loves it when women approach.
Does he?
That's what he said.
That's
Ashley says, my husband approached me and I took him out on our first date.
Okay.
Down here in the South, Leanne.
I mean, I ain't mad at it, but I ain't doing it, but I ain't mad at it.
Now, when you say took him, like you paid?
Norman says, yeah, and we're gonna drop the link. Please hang around, guys, because y'all can come up. Y'all have a chance to say it to our face, speak on it, Craig. Quit playing games and use your words. That's how you end up single. That's what they say. But the words I would probably use, like it wouldn't be like I'm gonna take you out on a date. It'd be like, you can ask me for my phone number, or would that's more like me.
Right.
So let me say,
right.
Closed mouths don't get fed. That's why Jamal says that's why dating is dumb. How's dating? I mean, I don't know.
Baby, that's okay.
Dating is dumb.
Checked out.
This guy, Quick 504, he round from my way where I'm from. I give women the bottom of the bottle like the lead attorney. Okay, Jamal. Okay. We're gonna get ready to drop this link. Are we gonna drop the link?
Yeah, y'all ready to drop the link?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we've been in it a minute. They got our monologue. They heard our perspectives. We want to hear from you guys.
All right.
I'll drop it on them. Major says, I ain't gonna lie, I like when women approach, but I be feeling like they trying to set me up too. They could be, because we women, Cardi B or somebody was out here jacking people up. So be careful. If a woman like, hey, coming up, give you room, kid out there, moving too fast. If it feels too fast for you, it probably is. Okay. So we dropping the link, guys. The link is in the chat. I want to hear from you guys. We want to hear from you. Yes. Quick 504. You talking your trash in the comments. Come up on the panel. Let's hear from you, my dude. Who else we got here? Doug MPA. You've been real active. Thank you. Thank you guys for even coming out and supporting us. Watching us on this channel. It's our first episode of My Unsolicited Opinion podcast.
And we're going to pull it together.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get it together, guys. We're going to get it together. We're going to work on our sign language and our the woman speaking woman.
I'm going to just give eye contact.
And Ty just going to give you her look. And you don't know what time it is. It's going to be time to hit the like button and subscribe, guys. It's going to be time for all of that. So who we got? This somebody. Brian.
A couple people.
We got somebody in the back. We got some people in the back. Who gonna pull them up? You gonna pull them up?
Yeah, we start with who we have? Brian Turner. He's coming.
Yes, he's cammed up. Hello, Brian.
Definitely gotta be cammed up.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Great show. Great show.
Doing, Brian?
Very well put together. Great presentation. So first things first, it's always good having conversations like this. It's great seeing black men and black women get together and have civilized conversation. And it's always great to just kind of sit back and instead of us going at each other and biting each other's heads off, let's just have conversation. Let's give each other's unsolicited opinion.
Yeah. What have been your experience, Brian? Are you married, single?
Single. Something like that.
Okay. Oh, something like that. See, that's what we was talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
Something like that.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what it is, so we know what that is.
Yes, ma'am. And first things first, I like to say
they gonna mam us on here. You gonna mam us? Okay.
Where you from?
I'm from Lake Providence, Louisiana.
Oh yeah, I'm from New Orleans. I grew up in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I went to school Southern and Baton Rouge. I
go to Southern right. I'm getting my master's from Southern right now.
Okay, I went to Xavier for pharmacy school, so I know
awesome.
You.
Yes, ma'am.
I know your streets.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So my first thing is that when it comes to, because my biggest thing is, we could talk about black relationships, but the basis of everything is successful black people. I think that once successful black men and women can learn to have common ground with each other, when they can learn to appreciate each other more, a lot of the scars in the black community can heal. Because I believe the reason why so many of us are scarred right now is because the best of us are not married. The best of us aren't having children. I think the best of us need to get together because,
Why do you think that is?
well, there's a rivalry between successful black men and women, and we can go into that all day long. But I'm sure y'all want to get to the basis of it all. I think that a lot of successful black men and women have a a bit of a rivalry with each other. I don't
Why?
think.
You think it's the women? You think they
I
toxic?
think it's both. I think it can be both. I know that when I mean, the last relationship I had, I could take accountability and, I could be kind of person where I can be a little stubborn. And also, I'm not always the best communicator. I'm not always the best communicator.
Thank you for saying that.
Yes, man. I tend to be somebody
Ma'am.
who I don't really convey things with words. I convey things through what I do.
Mm.
And I'm also somebody who I prefer to handle things more, I guess you can call it logically,
Mm.
But the biggest thing is I believe the reason why so many successful black men and women are so combative with each other is because we're always having these competitions with each other. We're trying to see who's the smartest, who's the most qualified. I remember I was in the weight room. I like to go to the gym a lot, and one of my female friends who I was dating her back in the military. I
Mm.
remember,
Shout out to the military, Ty.
yeah, I remember, nice girl. She was actually
Hold
from
on,
Houston.
hold up, Brian. I don't mean to cut you off. What branch of the military you in?
I was in the Army. I got out. I did 4 years.
Okay.
Yes, man.
Well,
I did
salute
4
to
years.
you, and thank you for your service.
Thank you. God bless you. And I remember every time I try to squat, or every time I try to bench something, I'm, I've been doing this for a while. Every time I try to do something, she try to do it too, almost to her safety. And I'm like, what you doing that for, love? Like,
You trying to like lift weights with like.
yeah, or like
Now that's crazy. Now we speak our womanese and we do our crazy stuff, but I'm not trying to like be
yes, man. And she was a bit of a
Trying to break a sweat.
That's crazy.
yes, ma'am. Very, very attractive young lady from the south side of Houston, but bit of a tomboy. Very attractive though, bit of a tomboy. And she the type of young lady where she like to compare. She like to compare herself to men. And I told her you ain't got to do
Was she
that,
into men?
huh? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. She was an
Okay, you say you
athlete. She
dated
could
her.
hoop.
Okay.
She was a hell of a hooper. She went to no. She's not from the East. She went to North Shore High in Houston. That's like a
Okay.
power. That's like a powerhouse in Houston. She was like a really good athlete. But back to what I was saying, I kind of digressed a little bit. So the biggest thing is I believe a lot of young black men, a lot of successful black men and women have a bit of a rivalry with each other that I think we need to come to common ground about.
All right, I agree. Thank you so much. I
Thank
agree
you
with
so
that.
much.
Thank you, Brian Turner, for
Yep.
coming up, supporting us,
Yes, man. Thank
giving us
y'all.
some good comments, good
Yes, ma'am.
feedback. Thank you,
All right, God bless
Brian.
y'all. Thank you.
All right, who we got
All right.
next?
Oh, we got Doug MPA. Doug has some heat in the chat. So let's see
Yeah.
what Doug's
Shout out
talking
to the
about
intentional
today.
millionaire.
Ladies, hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Hey
What's
Doug,
up?
how are
What's up,
you?
Doug?
I'm doing good. I just want to piggy off a little bit off of what the last guy said. There is a rivalry between black men and black women. I think the biggest difference between men and women is men have a masculine burden of performance where we have to perform because the world's not going to save us. Women have a bunch of social conventions in place to save them if they fail, but men don't. And then number two, a lot of men, the most satisfaction we're going to get out of our lives is to um, find a woman we care about and put ourselves in a position to be able to support that woman and a family if we want to have one. That's it for us. Women
That's
have
it.
so many different options in life, and I'm in the DMV area, and I meet a lot of professional women who have given their best lives to some job that could care less about them. And when they hit 35, they want off that train. My father's a physician. He calls it the man's game. The man's game is where you get a job when you're 16 and you work until you're dead. That's what a lot of us men do. And once again, the most satisfaction that we get is finding a woman to marry and supporting our children. And women think that they want that smoke until they hit 35 and 40. And they're like, oh man, if I'm not careful, I'm going to be
Is that
working
the
until
wall?
yeah.
Is
And
that because
so,
we've been talking about the wall age. I just wondered when the wall was. Like,
well,
is it
yeah,
35? Is it 40? Is it
30,
30?
to 35. And then one of the things I hope that we can realize, especially women, is men, we're fine with just being workhorses and supporting a family. Like men give their lives for society and women every single day, but women, they think they want that smoke, but they don't. And so Mel Gibson in The Road Warrior, one of the best lines ever, he said, "You want to get out of here? You talk to me." What that means is, ladies and black women, let's accept everything that's happened to you in the past. So the only way out of that is a man, is us. So find a good man,
I'm
get
sorry.
married.
Only way out of what? Say it
What are
again.
you
Out of
talking about?
no,
Only way out
so
of what?
Are we
no,
in some sort of bondage? Like what? I
no,
didn't.
no, 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 no. What I'm saying is if we accept everything that black women say about the difficulty of being a black woman historically and in the present day, find a good man to be with, marry that man, and he'll give you the world, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
That
That's
that
all I'm
sounds
saying.
That's
good.
not
That kind of
true.
sounds like a fairy tale though, because a lot of us do find a good man. We married them, and then they find another story to read. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that sounds good
So
when you
well,
when you're saying like
but
just find a
cheating
good
rates
man and sit
between men
down
and women are the
somewhere.
same. So about
But it's not
26%.
cheating. It's not just cheating. It's
Uh-huh.
not just cheating. Because if we be honest, I think who said Gary Owen, like no marriage ever ended on like cheating alone. So women forgive men every day for cheating. Let's just
Okay.
be completely honest about that. It's not just
Agreed.
cheating.
Okay.
So it's a
Okay.
combination of things. It's
But
not
then
just
women
cheating,
still
and
leave
cheating is
men
never a good thing
80% of the
by itself.
time. If it were like men leaving 50% and women leaving 50%, but it's not. It's women leaving 80% of the time and 90% if they're college educated.
Yeah,
Okay, those
and then
stats, I hear you, but it's okay. Y'all,
80%.
okay, they love to throw out these stats. Let's just go ahead. Let's address that, right? 80% of women are leaving. Okay, fact. Got it. Are we just that's just it? Mic drop, walk off. We don't the women just leaving just
Right.
because they're all crazy. 80% of these women who these men are deciding to marry, who 100% of men are proposing to, according to some stat. I don't even know if you put it in there. 100% of these
Yeah,
men
that was me.
are proposing to these women. Like they marrying these women who are going to leave. 80% of them, 70% of them are going to leave, right?
Yes.
So is that on who's that on? Are y'all
It's on the women because
tickers off, or is it the women? Like
no.
who is it?
So here's the thing. We have a
Because like these
society.
stats are just driving me
No,
nuts. They
we
driving
have
me crazy.
we have a
It's like
society.
seriously.
So our
Women walking
community,
out. Okay, why are we walking? Why are they walking out?
it's because we have a social infrastructure in place that celebrates struggling, particularly with women.
Oh my
Women
God.
are celebrated for struggling. So you have
How?
your friends,
Okay,
you
and
have
what
your
about those
society
who are not
telling
getting
you,
the
telling
child
you.
support, who are not getting the
But
whatever
that's the thing
government
about it.
assistance?
If you don't, if you marry a good man and stay with that man, you don't have to worry about any of that.
Stay with them regardless of what anything. Whatever
You
happens,
made a
just stay.
you made a
What is worry about any of that? What was that? Can
What
you
is any of that? That's what
specify?
I'm
We
trying
say,
to.
what is worry about
What
any
I'm
of that?
saying
What was
is if you
struggling.
marry a guy and you create a family, stay
You
with
just
that
stay.
guy because only 25% of men cheat. So
I'm telling you,
I
cheating
operate
women
like the
don't leave because
majority
of
of
cheating. I'm
huh?
telling you, they're not leaving because of cheating.
What are they leaving for then?
They're
Because
leaving because of finances. They're leaving because they're being abused. They're leaving because of
see,
many
that's
different reasons.
no,
They're leaving because
that's
of
cap.
addictions. They're leaving.
That's
No,
cap.
that's not
No,
true.
this is cap.
So
You're cap.
no,
Tell me, we pull
hold
up the
up a
stats
second.
on who leave because of
Hold up a
cheating.
second.
Who
So
nobody ever leaves because people are
so
just
what
cheating.
percentage
Joy,
of women are you saying are
you
leaving
ever
the
left
men
a man the first time you heard cheated on you?
abuse?
Ty,
What
have you
would you
ever done
say?
that?
You already know. I'm about to. So here's
Well,
my
It's
thing,
cheating.
and
It's the cheating. We're
so
not
I'm gonna
women.
say this. And Doug, let me
Not
tell
saying
you
whoever
who.
I'm with,
well,
like you
I
don't have a free
operate that
ticket
the
to cheat on
majority
me,
of
but women
women are
don't
good
leave.
Well,
women and the majority of men are good men.
Hold on 1 second, Doug. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I will say this, and if people haven't realized it at this point, like honestly,
Say
I
it.
don't know the
Say
stats,
it.
and I'm not about to sit here and quote the stats. I don't know it, but I will say there are a lot of women
Who be
who
with cheating men? Like
who are
say
with
it.
who are
They
married to men who have cheated in the past,
But the
cheated
majority of
presently,
men don't cheat, though. That's
are
what I'm saying.
you
The
said
majority of
black men
men
don't
don't.
cheat?
It's a fact. The majority of men don't cheat. It's about 25%. If you look at the
Okay.
stats, and men and women cheat at equal rates. This is a fact.
Who told you
They're
that? The
not getting a
men
divorce
said that?
by
Like,
cheating.
did they
I'm
take a
not
survey
saying
and
who
say that?
cheats more. I'm not debating who cheats more or who cheats less. What I'm saying is I don't necessarily know that cheating is the number one factor
It's
in
finances
divorces.
is number one.
So that's what she was saying. That's what she's telling you, Doug. She's
That's what
saying
I
cheating
said.
is not the number one factor why women are walking away.
What I'm saying is, if the number one is
No, the fact
finances,
that I said
well,
that
then
just
just find a
give up
way to
grace
live
right
within your
over it.
means.
What are you talking about, Doug?
Within whose means?
Your household
Do
income.
you understand that financial matters, or people that
Yes.
have issues
So,
with financial, it's more than just, oh, we overspend. Do you understand that, right?
but the average
Do
household
you
income in the United
understand that
States is about
everyone that has financial
$65,000,
issues,
and you can raise a
do,
family on $65,000.
do you
We
understand
agree because we
that?
think there are good men
You
out there.
can't
What are we
even get
talking
a good
We
about?
are
house
okay
for
with
that.
that.
No,
But
you
we are
do you
You can't even get a
understand that
4-bedroom
financial
house in Charlotte for that. So
hold on one
no,
second,
I
Joy.
reject that.
Hold on one second. You understand that financial matters go well, like there are other things financially that versus someone living within their means, right? You understand there are different aspects of financial issues, right? Not
I
necessarily,
understand.
oh,
I
they're
understand.
spending
Go ahead.
or they're okay. So okay, then enlighten us. Give us some other reasons why someone might have financial issues other than they're spending more than what they're not spending within, or they're living
I'm
outside
asking
of
you
their means.
because women leave 80% of the time. Us
What?
guys, we don't leave, so we're perfectly fine with the finances.
So you
Yeah,
said
if you're giving out money to your let me hush.
hold on.
See,
You said no,
there's
but
the
no,
cheating
Doug. But
again.
no, Doug. Hold
That's
on.
not
Hold on.
cheating. No, I'm not talking about side chick. I'm talking
Mhm.
about moms to all these son
Hold on.
husbands.
Hold on. Hold on.
I'm
And
not talking
Allen.
about
That is a
side chick.
problem. I agree. Yes, that is a
Hold
Okay,
problem.
on, Allen.
okay,
Hold
thank
on.
you. I'll
Doug,
sit back on that.
you quoted that the number one reason for divorce is what now?
Finances.
And it's because and that within the finances, you said that people don't know how to live within their means, or they should learn how to live within their means. And you say that that's and I asked you, I said, you understand that there's more financial reasons why, or financial issues under that umbrella. It's not all about spending more than what you bring in or whatever, right? Or living with outside of your
I think
means.
that
You understand that, right?
I think that's the majority of it. That's what it is.
But no,
It's
you
not
got
living
the
within your
stats,
means.
right? So what's the stats on that?
I don't have the stats
I tell you what, I
specifically
think we
on
should.
that.
I,
But my opinion, just mine, is that I think we have a lot of people who don't know how to live within their means in our
That's
community.
and
Yes,
in your
100%.
opinion is valid.
Okay.
And when we say our opinion or I feel, then that's valid as well because that's your opinion, right?
Okay. I'll,
Okay,
I'll
that's
concede that. If I
okay.
can, I just wanted to bring up one more thing. I'm a lifelong Seahawks fan. And so do you think that Russell Wilson is a good man? Would you say he's a good man? Yes or no?
oh, I
From
don't know.
what we
I
can
don't
see,
date
I
him.
think he's a good man as far as I can see.
I
We
Okay.
don't know him in real
He
life.
ticks
So
the
we don't
minimum
know.
boxes. Yes, I say he is.
Now, have you heard of Sierra's Prayer? And do you know what that is?
I've heard
I
of his.
heard
I've
of it,
heard
but
of
I
his
didn't like
prayer.
read it. I didn't listen to the song, whatever it is.
So Russell Wilson was married to a white woman first, and then he divorced that woman. And well, so okay, Russell Wilson gave off that vibe of, like, he dated white girls, and everyone thought that he was going to end up with a white woman. I didn't think that, but in the consciousness of America. So us in Seattle, we were kind of upset that he chose to be with Sierra because he didn't have any children. He could have been with any woman, but he chose Sierra. And the reason why us in Seattle were upset is because Sierra is Future's baby mama number 5,
You're a leftover woman.
right? Like her son's name is Future Junior, right? So no, seriously. So Sierra's prayer is a woman's thinking that she can make all the mistakes in the world, and then there's going to be a Russell Wilson waiting for her at the finish line after she heals and does all this stuff. Do you think part of being a good man is accepting a woman with all of her flaws, compromising your standards? Would you put that as part of being a good man?
You know his standards. What was Russell Wilson's standards?
Are you asking me? So, okay, here's the thing. I used to be mad at Russell Wilson,
No.
and
I asked. Just
well,
answer the
I'll
question.
get
What
to
was
it. I'll get to it. I'm answering it. Give
okay?
me 1 second. So, because I used to be upset at Russell Wilson until I understood the game. The game is, in the Black community, relationships are so, like,
No, that's not answering the question. What was
No, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it.
standard?
What?
No.
Give me 1 second.
Answer the
Give me 1
question.
second. I'll tell you.
Doug.
Please let me answer because this is the whole thing.
Okay.
Russell Wilson is getting something out of that marriage the same as Sierra is. Okay, because in our community, being a couple like Will and Jada, it makes you money. Okay, I think that Russell Wilson and Sierra, they love each other, but they're also a PR marriage. Russell Wilson, I thought he was black, but a lot of us didn't, and people didn't think that Russell Wilson was black until he married Sierra. All of a sudden, Russell Wilson is looking like Deion Sanders. All of a sudden, and then Sierra's image got changed where she isn't being associated with all the rappers that she used to sleep with. So he has a different kind of standard because they're both, and Russell, then Sierra's prayer is making them hundreds of millions of dollars because all these women want a Russell Wilson and they're making money off of being a couple. So I think it's different from the average guy because they're both getting something out of it.
Okay, so what is Russell Wilson's standard? Because I don't correct me if I'm wrong. Did you answer that?
Yeah, because his standard was,
what is his standard?
His standard was find a woman that can help me change my image from Russell Wilson, gee golly Williker Russell Wilson, the educated lame, to Deion Sanders, and that's exactly what happened. So that was his standard.
He ain't no Deion Sanders now, but okay.
He's trying to be now though.
Because he married Sierra.
Okay, Doug. Well, thank you for coming.
Doug is saying like he tired of stepdaddy season. Russell went outside. That's what Doug is saying.
Thank you, Doug.
Right?
We appreciate
is that what
you
you're saying,
for coming
Doug?
on.
Well, no.
And giving us
No,
Doug. We appreciate you for coming on and giving us your
just real
unsolicited
quick.
opinion. You are exactly the type of opinion we like to engage with, and we
One last
appreciate
thing.
that.
On Russell Wilson, if Russell Wilson and Sierra end up on the porch in the rocking chairs with their grandkids out front, and they stay together for 40 years, Russell Wilson won. It's just like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. If Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are together when they're 80 years old, he have won. But Russell Wilson's never going to leave Sierra. I think Sierra's going to leave him, just like Tom Brady's wife left him. So, because Russell Wilson ain't leaving Sierra, he ain't ever. Guys, we don't leave.
The men don't leave. They sit there. They torture you. They torture themselves. They're not leaving. You are exactly right. The men are not leaving, and the women are. They are.
Tell Tom Brady that if Tom Brady can't win,
Tom Brady wasn't
how can the average guy
I don't
win?
even know why why do y'all want to stay so bad? Like stay for what?
Because we're men, we sacrifice our lives for our women, for society, and once again, women, they don't want that smoke.
Women don't want
society smoke.
For society.
What did you say? I didn't hear, but the smoke.
I said men.
The women don't want that smoke. He keep.
What's the smoke that we don't want?
The smoke is that men, we sacrifice our lives for our community, our society, our family, our children. And women, once again, they want that smoke until they're 35. Then they say, I went off this train. This is too much work. So,
hold on. Who are they sacrificing? Who are they giving their lives over to?
Men?
Yeah, you said the community. They give their lives to the community.
Society.
The women.
Our children.
The women.
Your house was built by a man. That you're sitting in, that microphone was, all the great inventions were built by men. Like the policemen are men.
We're not saying we don't want men. We never, nobody up here ever said we don't want men. We don't need them. We need them.
Like
we know we need them. We know y'all like on a literal like okay.
I'm not saying that you said any different. I'm not saying.
Like men are men are needed in this world. Not only men, but black men are very much so needed in this world. That's just
you didn't even tell them like your other thing that was on your list.
Huh? What's that? Yes, I'm sorry, and I didn't. Not, you know what? Thank you, NAllen, for keeping me right, because there was another thing on my list, right? Because I mean I don't know, but one of the things on my list of like what I like in a man is a man that loves just black people. Period. Point blank. He just gotta have a love for black people.
We with y'all.
Right? Nobody's saying you gotta, bend and accept everything that we do as a community, but if you just want to see the betterment of your people, like I'm for him, like that's the type of man that I want, right? You don't have to disparage people. You can be critical, and that's fine. I'm all for the critiques, right? But it doesn't mean that you have to like stomp and beat your chest and say, you know, this is what I've done and this is why you got to respect. I'm going to respect you regardless, baby. I see you. I see you, black man. You have
What's
done
the
But
last
we
a
know
thing?
lot
y'all
in this
built the
world.
house. We know
But
Have
the
you
only
made the
thing I ask
microphone. We
is
know
that
you
you, the
made that
only,
We can't
bicycle in
hear
your
y'all.
background.
if you've ever
I
been
can't hear
passionate
nobody.
about
but the only,
something,
hold on, Doug, because hold on
go
now,
ahead.
because I let you rock. But the only thing I think that a lot of black women included on this panel, we love black men, but the only thing we ask is that you love us too. That's it. And not saying that you don't, because there's a lot of black men that love black women, and I'm here for them.
Mhm.
That's my lane.
Mhm.
That's my lane. I
Thank
don't
you,
know
Doug.
about y'all, but that's my lane, right?
I can
We
just
don't
say,
believe in a lot of fairy tales either. We've
and
lived
I'll
life.
part with this. If you
I know this man ain't just like unmute himself after I just said, hold on for a second. Didn't I say that? Okay.
Wait, we can't hear you, Doug.
Huh?
You muted him.
I did mute him because I was speaking. Now, like I said, so men, you've done a lot for this country, for this world, but women have done a lot as well. And I'm not saying that we are, you know, the same and we're equal. Men and women are completely different. It shows, right? But like, you know, there's no need, in my opinion, I don't think a leader, and that's my profession, right? I don't think a leader has to always say that they're in charge. We just know it. You just exude it. It just comes. You could walk in the room. I never met you before, and I already know that you lead. Be that type of man. Or you can be the one that's, you know, telling me that you lead all the time. And then, you know, I sit here and you'll get this from me. And that's fine because you may not even, oh, you're not mine. But go ahead, Doug. Go ahead and give us your closing remarks.
if you've been passionate about something, which I'm sure all of us have, because it seems like a very successful panel, you love the things you love about it, but then you hate the things you hate about it enough to want to change what you don't like. And then that's just what I see about, there are a lot of us, like the women on this panel, you see the foolishness and you want to do something about it. And there's a lot of us men too. So when I'm talking, you know, I love being black. They're just things that I see. Like I run a mentorship group here in the DC area where my brother and I, we mentor young African immigrant and African American men. And it's tough out here for these guys. You know what I'm saying? Everything I'm saying to you, I say to them too. So, you know, I love being black, but then once again, if you're passionate about something, there are things you just hate, and you hate enough to want to go do something about it. So that's all I wanted to say. I appreciate the conversation, ladies, and just have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Okay.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you. Come back, please come back. All right, ladies. All right.
All
What we
right.
got going on? Let's see what's going on in the chat. What we got? What's it say?
Jamal says Doug doesn't have the swag enough for them on the panel to want to marry him.
But Doug has enough swag for some woman to want to marry him. It doesn't matter if we want him. I don't think he came up here for our
He did.
approval.
He was not trying to get our approval at all. Doug was
Doug
doing
has enough for Doug is good enough for a lot of women out there. He just needs. I don't even know if he's looking. Did he say he was looking for a woman?
He might be married.
He might be married already, right? So
I know he wasn't checking for us. He was not. He came up here like his own thing.
That's
Like, I ain't
okay
checking for
because
you.
I think the feeling was mutual. But if for some reason we always have to like quantify people on whether or not someone is checking for them or not checking for them, Doug may not be attracted to anyone in this panel, and he may not even be attracted to us, right? And that is fine. But there is somebody out there that wants Doug. He seems like a man that
He gives to the community, helps out. What do you say?
He says he sacrificed. Yes. And that's not even trying to be facetious. I'm being for real about that. For some reason, we always go back to don't nobody want them. That's why they talk like that. Or they must be somebody baby mama, or they must be single, or they not married, or whatever have you. And you don't even know, right? Because this is the first episode, right?
Right.
So how you know?
So much more to share. So much
right? More. Oh, but by the way they act, Doug is a black man in this world, and trust and believe, if he wanted to couple with someone, whomever that may, I'm pretty sure Doug will find his match.
His
Whether
finesse.
it's in
Lisa, the happy
the
housewife,
US,
says black men want love and respect from their women. I think that is exactly true.
that's true.
Black men do. They want respect. We give respect, most of us. And it's like everything. Let me
Nah, go ahead, NAllen.
let's see who's next. Let's see. The truth. He says we get love when we what? Funny, rich, in shape, handsome, charming, swag, a little hood.
It's a
Low
long
cut,
list.
with it, blue swag. Okay, little hood, intelligent, a leader, etc., etc. Then we might get basic love and a pat on the back, is what I'm hearing. That's not what you heard.
Y'all, look,
That is
That's
not
my
what you
type right
heard.
there. That's
that
my
sound
Y'all
like
don't
ghost
listen
to me.
and y'all don't speak womanese. Okay.
Look, y'all, that sound like he described ghost to me.
Okay. Funny,
Yep,
rich.
that's exactly how we want you.
But
Just
y'all
like
know
that.
y'all. Okay, look. The lead attorney says, "How do you women feel about submission?"
Please
So
come get these bills up off me.
let me go first.
Please.
I'm like, hey, I'm trying to be
Please.
just, I'm a wife. I stand on your side. I stand behind you. I'm not trying
Come
to be
on.
running no house. I'm one of those women, like,
Mm-mm.
I don't even know, like, if we need to sell the house, buy the house, finances, like that's not my lane. I step back and I just, I try to cook, I try to clean, I, purchase the groceries and all of that. I do all of that. Submission, if I'm gonna say it like this, and this probably gonna be like, you go if you lead in the house, I'm gonna follow. Now, if you start like some of the things you're supposed to be doing, that's in your role that you put yourself in, and I'm in my role. If you're not holding up your end, then it's like it is hard to submit to those men at that point. But in the beginning, when things are looking fine, we doing things, we got a plan, we following it. I'm following your lead. That's how I don't want to be in charge.
Do you have
I
to
do
submit
not.
it to 50-50, or does he have to, is it 60-40, like when you start talking about finances and things like that?
I'm gonna say something that's a lot of women probably not gonna agree with. I'll go half seats. I'll go 50-50. I will. I know a lot of
That's
women
very
like,
reasonable of
I
you.
need him,
It is.
yeah. So even
Mm.
though I'm paying my half, I should, I got, you got big stick, I got a big stick too. But if we go half, I still like, you the man. I don't want to be in charge. So that's where I'm at on the submission. Yeah. Somebody said submission is unconditional. It's easier said than done. It's unconditional. So it's like you can start wilding out, not paying what you're supposed to be paying, and you still think you're gonna be like dominating on me. Is that fair? Y'all like
Babe,
unconditional. Y'all want to be able to just be free balling it out here. Like just
you know,
balls in the wind. Like I'm gonna just do whatever. You still need to bow down. You still need to pay this money. You still need to cook every day. You still need to work every day. You still need to clean every day. And shut up. Like, come on, y'all gotta leave.
no,
What do
that's
you
why,
want?
and so that's one of the things where I was like, a man needs to be like for me, I like a reasonable man, right? And for some reason, they feel like this word submission is supposed to be some icky word to us, and it's
It's
not.
okay. It's
If
okay.
they always talk about a man does this and this, protect, provide, whatever. If he's doing that and he is walking in whatever purpose he thinks that God has ordained on him, and it jives with me, then baby, we don't have to be dangling out little words talking about submission. What about submission? And what about this? And what about that? You wouldn't have
It's
those
okay.
issues,
It's okay.
right? And I don't
Like
think a lot of people understand that. Like, those words do not scare any of the women on this panel. None of them, right? But just be who you say you
whatever you
are.
like. Whatever you like.
Whatever you like.
Whatever you like.
Just be
Yeah.
who you say you are, or who or work towards whoever you say you want to be. And I think a lot of Black women out here, especially in a position that we're in, we can see that. Where you just this woman just told you, this married woman on this panel just told you she would go half seas, 50-50.
And still be like,
and still
Okay.
holds you down in this
Mm.
submission word that y'all like to dangle around that y'all think we're scared of. We're not scared of that word. We understand. We understand the dynamics between men and women. So it's not like
So
we're
I,
out.
I went on took an L just now, and I said I'll go 50-50. What's y'all what would
Mm-mm.
y'all do? What you say, Joy?
That'll be difficult for me. Like you 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 gotta pay to tell me what to do. Like I don't know. I would time, like, and I'm not saying 100% either, but pay for the house and not less than a house that I could pay for on my own. Like that's yeah. I don't mind helping, but I think that when it comes to a responsibility, like I need you to have more on your shoulders than mine. Like I don't mind helping out, here in a little bit. Give me some, emotional support. But what, y'all, like I done fought the good
It's a lot
fight.
out here,
That
sis.
old boy was saying, like, this one I'm tired. Like we can do that burden to somebody else. But I don't mind helping, but if you gonna tell me what to do, like I pay. I pay to play. But that's the thing that a lot of men use to dangle over women, because when you put yourself in that situation where you like, my man pay for everything for me. Oh, honey, look at you. No, that's not a good thing at all. Like you've given up everything. Like now what you getting ready to do when something go wrong? You gonna get in there and cook? You just gonna be mad. You're gonna be mad silently too. Cause where you going? You don't have no job. So I think
Well, they don't want you to leave anyway, though, because 80%, 70% of
gotta be
women
very
are walking
careful
out
with that.
anyway. 70% of women are walking out anyway. So that's kind of like all that goes hand in hand. They need to pay for, I mean, if they're paying, they're in control, and then you stay. That way, 100% of marriages are intact, according to these.
There go the logic. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh man. We got anybody else back here in the chat? Nope. Oh, who's in the chat? Who do we have in the chat? That's the thing.
Let's see.
What TLA
What
talking
they
about?
say? You gotta be bought.
You gotta be bought.
Who gotta be bought? Me? When I say you
Joy.
gotta pay for me?
Joy, he
No,
said you gotta
I
be
say
bought,
that.
girl.
No, that's the funniest thing in the world. Like I'm like the girls that I've had around me that were all about buy me, gimme. Them hoes winning. I'm over here paying for myself. So no is the answer. Ain't nobody buying me. No.
Let's see. The lead attorney says this is a great program. Subscribe, guys.
Yes.
This is the first
hit that
one. Y'all
like
are part of
button.
the initiation, the first episode.
Okay.
So thank y'all for coming. Bye. Let's see. Vote your way out, grifter. There's a name. If I'm paying the bills and you question me or raise your voice, you will be knocked out. Look, come on now.
Here we
Come
go.
on, y'all.
But you know what? But that's what we gotta submit to, right? So if
you
a
gonna
person
get knocked out, he paying.
So
if somebody up here earlier said no 50-50, I'm like, hey, I don't want to do it. But if something comes up, then okay, I'm gonna come through. That's a good thing. People don't even recognize support. Jesus Christ.
You all right over there?
Yeah,
maybe
like,
I hope he's saying like, I just hope this man's saying like knocked out, like he just, he just putting you to the side. I sure hope he ain't talking about raising his hands.
Right, talking about a little shaking or something, pushing you or something. Let's see. Who else we got? Oh, get her, Lisa. Pay for what, Joy? That's she's saying. She's saying pay for the house. What you saying, Joy? Pay for the house?
Yeah. Like it, I don't want it to be 50-50. I have no desire for something to be 50-50.
You gotta pay the mortgage.
When I say pay for me, like
Jamal says,
go
in that kitchen and make my sandwich. That's easy. That's what y'all don't know.
I can make a sandwich. It don't take that long.
We can make a sandwich. Guess what? We
make
make
that sandwich, the one that Scooby do, like Shaq, Scooby do them big ones. Baby, I'll make you that big one. I'll make the long.
I'm just saying.
Some long subs.
Where the Hogan is like
what's the name? Where
Bill Cosby? Is that? Can we say Bill Cosby on YouTube?
Yeah, Bill Cosby. He used to always have his
Those Hogan or whatever.
Baby, you could have that.
Brian Turner says, "Great channel, ladies. Thank you, Brian. I didn't know where your head was at. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you." Look, it's Maggie, y'all.
Appreciate
Maggie
you.
says, "Congrats on your first episode. We did it, y'all. We here. We in this thing. You know, y'all kind of like, you know, y'all nudging us a little bit, but we in here." Lee say, "Go up there, Brian." Did Brian come up?
On, Brian.
Already.
We would love to hear your opinion, Brian, because you came in hot.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. Notorious Kevin Brooks. He says, "Hello, everyone. Exactly what are they winning, Joy?"
Winning what?
I don't even know what
you said. You know, these hoes is winning.
The 304s. They
Oh,
my bad. 304.
Oh, the 304. Oh, they winning all right. No, when I say winning, I say it loosely, but like they for whatever reason, I've seen it over and over and over again. Like these went like how Cardi B talk about, she set dudes up to rob them, like, and they were just begging me next, baby, me next. Like,
hold this baby get robbed next.
These men don't be wanting somebody that's like, oh, okay, I'm reasonable, I understand. Like, no, you don't have to pay for everything. Like, they like that. I don't know why, but they be winning.
If a man paid a
go ahead, Ty.
No, I'm sorry. I was really reading it to myself, and I know you're supposed to be reading.
If a man paid the cost to be the boss, submission and your cooperation shouldn't be a problem. It's not a problem.
I agree.
It's not.
What you want us to say? You want us to just get into it? Hell no, you paying for everything. I'm still gonna do me. No, we're not unreasonable. I'm sorry to everybody who came here for the smoke and the drama. You're not gonna get it tonight. You're not getting it. Not that. I mean, you know, not on this particular thing. This submission is like it's overrated. People cooking every day. People are cleaning every day.
Maybe I cook every day.
Right.
And
if we're not cleaning, I can hire somebody.
We're gonna stop giving them excuses to get their passports. Get your passport anyway. Travel.
You should get your passport.
Your family. Travel. You should get your passport. Like whatever you're traveling for, your own pleasure, or just taking a group of friends, get your passports, guys. We not, but just to be throwing out like we ain't dealing with submission, y'all gonna cut that out. And I'm sorry, you know, I got called ma'am like 8 times today. Y'all saw it on here. So I'm in ma'am mode. You know, I'm
come on, ma'am.
39 years old. So it's like, you know, okay, ma'am. Ma'am is like submission. That's, you know, maybe the next generation. I don't know. Who are they? Gen Z, whoever they are. You know, maybe they like, I'm not cooking. I don't cook. I don't clean. Whatever. Because they also say you got to love a toxic, you know, woman. But anyway, who else we got up in here? I'll be all over, you know. Yeah.
Go off, sis.
Go off, sis. He's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man, Savannah. Yes.
He's in a bad situation right now.
Yes, Doug, you know, you ride with us, Doug. We didn't know where you stood.
I think, man, like Doug, you know, I respect. He came up here. This is our first show. He don't even know what kind of smoke he would have got, right? He was like, "No, I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna tell you what I think."
He brought up the smoke though. I was like, okay.
He came with the smoke. I appreciate it. And baby, listen though, sis, you ain't you didn't let up either. You was like, oh, you got smoke. I got something for you.
Okay. Jamal Neezy, he says, can the woman on the panel let the people know what kind of men y'all looking for, if not spoken for?
I'm spoken for.
I don't think somebody's spoken for if they're not married though. You either single or you married, right?
That's true.
That's what they say. Yes, they say.
I mean, that's
if you're not first, you're last.
I mean, I've already said my piece. Y'all already heard it.
Let's go, Joy. What you got?
Go ahead, Joy.
So mine is pretty like boring and basic. Obviously, I want to be incredibly attracted to the person.
That steamy.
Like I do. I think, you know, that's very important. I mean, I understand looks and all the things fade. That's what people say, but that's important to me. And someone that has common interests. Like, I love sports. Like, I've been around dudes and they know nothing about sports. I'm like, what we supposed to talk about for 9 months out the year? Like, what we doing?
Panthers, girl.
What we gonna talk about? Like, having mutual interest in things is very important. Having the same core fundamental values. So if I value attending church and you don't, then there's going to be some sort of imbalance that's there. And just somebody who has a deep connection and friendship. Like, it's not I'm not asking for you to be driving a G-Wagon. I'm not, asking for you to be Gucci down to the socks, but I am asking, don't judge me if I go buy Gucci. Don't belittle me and try and be looking at my pockets how I spend my
Doug said
money.
you spending beyond your means.
What?
You spending well beyond your means, baby. That's what Doug said.
Well, it is what it is. But no, it's not a long list. Like, it's easy. What you say? Joy said buy a whole house. Yeah, equal or better than what I already have.
And I agree with her.
I don't think that that's an unreasonable thing. When let's go back to the $65,000 for a second.
Hold on. Go ahead, Joy. I'm sorry. I said I agree with you, and I do. But I think like I said yesterday, I said there's some negotiation room in there when it comes.
Let's go back to the $65,000 situation.
Go ahead.
Joy. Speak on it, Joy.
$65,000 is not a lot of money in 2023. I look at people's finances every single day. We can't make it. We can't do it. We can't do it. Like, we got $2,000 rent. We got probably gonna have some car payments. Most likely, we got some student loan debt. Most likely, like, that's not enough. That is not enough. And anybody that's like, oh, babe, stay home from work and I'm gonna carry the family of 4 on $60,000. Like, I can't fathom being in that circumstance. Like, it's mind-blowing to me. I don't think that it's fair for a woman to ask a man that only makes that little bit of money. Well, let me not say little bit. When I say that, I say it, put it in context. I don't think that it's fair for a woman to have some man be like, okay, like, I'm laying it all on the line, like, I'm giving you every dime of my money that I have. Like, if you see that man is struggling, like, get a job, help. So that's all.
But what if he's like, he don't want you working?
Huh?
What if he says he doesn't want you working? We just gonna live off this 65 I got.
We won't have a meeting of the minds. We'll be.
That was a nice way to say it. That was real slick. I liked it. So it's like, look, I know, baby, I don't want you working. This is enough. This is enough for us.
No.
Well, let me ask you, because Joy, I know you like you said, you look at a lot of people's finances every single day. And do a lot of people with, like, in today's housing market, do they come with $65,000 like annual jobs?
Champagne taste and a beer budget. That's the best way to put that. I mean, I see people with all types of finances, some, and the worst ones is when it's like super imbalanced. But I mean, my thing is, please don't ask somebody to have a family of 4 on $60,000. I don't think that's fair on either side. I really don't. I hate that idea. That you need to be making a whole lot more money if you think you're finna carry me. We don't need no other kids, just me. Like, if you gonna meet me, like, what are you really asking for me to do? Like, if that's not the lifestyle that I've grown accustomed to, what do you want me to do? Like, stop getting my hair done? Like, what we don't know. We won't have a meeting of the minds. It won't work.
So vote your way out. Grifter says you shouldn't have a problem finding this man. I often wonder why Black women find themselves here discussing these issues. Who are you looking for? The Gucci man will gladly get with you. Okay, so we are here discussing these issues to kind of like expose like that there are women out here like us. We're not really saying we having trouble finding these men. We didn't say that. We're just letting y'all know that, women are finding men. Y'all are here looking at these 304s, these Instagram chicks, what's it, OnlyFans, y'all looking at them, and it's like y'all wondering why y'all getting played in the child support court, and they took you for everything you got. And let's just keep it real. Like y'all, just some people, it's not just the women making poor decisions. Okay, it ain't just Pookie and Ray Ray.
It's a lot of
it's on both sides. It's on both sides. It's both sides. Now, you're not gonna get all red or blue over here or whatever pill you popping, whichever one. But it's like everybody like need to just get it together. So we're not having trouble finding me. I just told you they everywhere. We see them all the time. All of y'all are good, but some of y'all making poor decisions. That's what we say about that. Mr. Mustachio, he says, "What's going on here? You see us? We trying to let these people know, like they probably like these old hoes up here." That's what we say in Louisiana. These old hoes. You know what I'm saying? Who is that? Wait, quick 504. You heard these old hoes? These old hoes up here, like letting y'all know, like, look. Y'all just being way too extra. Put your computers up, close them down, go outside. Go outside. Kevin Brooks says hyperglycemia to me. What are you talking about, Kevin? The diabetes? That's what I was talking about earlier. They acted like I was like speaking womanese. Lead attorney says 65K is way more than the average man makes in America.
It is actually. No, and I saw this stat. It is way more. See that's the point though, right?
So then what does that, if it's an imbalance with that, if I want you to do, are you suggesting that they can't make more? Like, why accept that? Why not? Why accept that?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this what I think about that, the 65,000, it's like we can't, everybody's not making money, like I come into a lot of men who contact with a lot of men who make six figures, like because of what I do. But we can't just be acting like that's not good money, like that's the problem with a lot. Like, Joy, you in a different situation, but most women, if they meet a man making 65, like that's good money.
But when you start to spend that good money, it doesn't go very far.
It doesn't. It was like on your means, like
years ago. It was great 7 years ago.
It's people got to live out there right now, Joy. Come on,
it definitely is people that live out there right now.
But hold on, let's write that a little bit. So there's also other things that's factors that go into the 65, right? Where you live, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the number one factors, right?
But it's people making 65 in California. If they living in New York with a 1-bedroom apartment, like that's just what they have. We can't still act like 65 is like that's part of the problem.
It depends on how far your money goes, and I think each situation is definitely different from others. So if I'm living in LA and New York on 65, and I got a family, right? Let's just say, husband, wife, 2.5 kids, 65 in LA and New York. That might be a little bit different than that same family.
Then they need to move, but we can't be acting like this. Whatever the stat is for the median house income. That's why these crazy women out here, delusional women, thinking that I need a man that's making $200,000 so we can travel to Europe every summer for 2 weeks or whatever. It's like you're not even meeting men like that. The men like that don't want you. Let's just be reasonable. But
that's where it starts, though. I don't even agree with that, right? It's a lot of women out here to say they want these numbers. They don't know what these numbers actually mean.
Right.
Who they are, where they are, and what they know. And that's what I'm saying. Money functions different. I don't say differently, but money is different in different parts of the world, different parts of this country, right? So 65, and a lot of people just can't just get up and move the way that we think, right? But yes, do I feel like a lot of women out here saying, "Oh, I want a man that makes $100,000," and they feel like this money is a lot? Well, yeah, if $100,000 is a lot of money, right? But if I'm living in LA where the median income of LA is a little bit different, or the housing market there is just like skyrocketed, then my $100,000 is not going to go as far if I'm living and and I hate when people
but they like people got $30,000 in them places and they being ridiculous thinking they're gonna meet somebody making 500,000 or whatever they need them to make to live this lifestyle.
And then the men that travel overseas, they will always say, well, your money goes further in these different countries, Thailand, Brazil. This
Right.
is, you don't have to make that much over there because you can live like a king over there. So we understand the value of money and what that looks like in different places of the country and of the world, right? So we'll say that, but I agree with you. And Allen, yes, 65K.
We can't downplay, those,
Yeah, I'm not gonna downplay those.
I mean, but we know, and we are exposed to
Right.
different people like that. If people have unrealistic goals, we need some people need to reset and understand like 65K for this person,
Right.
don't be acting like
Exactly.
that's not good enough because you
Right,
never
'cause it
even
could be-
seen, some
it
of them
could be
haven't
a
even seen that
person-
much.
It can be a
It don't go very far in Charlotte. When you
It
start
probably
talking
won't,
about
Joy,
stress,
but I'm just
it
saying,
don't.
even
That's where I live. I don't live in
I mean, I
Mississippi.
hear
I
you.
don't know.
That ain't got nothing to do with that. Because what I, got
I
in
don't know.
Mississippi, that's in Louisiana, wherever I'm at, my money gonna travel. It's gonna do what it does.
Oh, we know.
Yeah. So it's like, but
we
it's
know the
still like
doctor
people
is in.
don't have, this, with
We
these
know the
women out here
doctor is
really
in.
like want everybody to make that money and they not. And that's
Right,
why it's like a
right.
lot of them single and they
They
not
throw
even
out
like,
arbitrary numbers.
yeah, that's like, oh, if he ain't making this, it's like, but that's your lane, though. You missing your lane because that's your lane. That ain't your lane, Joy. That's not Ty's lane. That ain't my lane. But
Yeah.
some of them need to go and get in that 65K lane and be like, this is good.
We got somebody in the back. In Allen. Who is it?
Who is that? Oh, looks like, let's see.
Ron, and he cammed up. You can pull him up.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's up, Ron?
Hey, Ron.
I can't call it. I got a question for y'all as far as finances go. Because there's always a question about what he has, what I got. What type of financial goals do y'all think about making collectively so y'all can have a certain lifestyle or financial freedom?
You a little bit low for me, Ron, so I can't. But if you guys heard it, you can go. You're a little bit low.
You saying put both together, common goals that both people have to elevate together?
Yeah, where you think about what y'all need to do collectively and have a financial goal collectively so y'all can have financial freedom.
That's what we like. That's what we like.
I love it.
We're on board with this.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because it sounds like it's just like, oh well, if he ain't got it, then I'm not gonna.
No, that's not what we're saying. But that's not what I'm saying.
That's not
what I see with a lot of people. Like a lot of people in general don't understand the dynamic of teamwork, where it's like you may have to help out and put in so y'all can build, real estate portfolio, business portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, you sit back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like having those goals together as a unit.
And honestly, Ron, that's exactly what we're saying, right? Yeah. It is what you say. You said it's teamwork, right? We can get ourselves out of this $65,000 a year annually household annual income if you allow the team to work, right? But if you're getting so caught up in this, idea of what leadership looks like, where you're like, no, it's me and it's only me, while I'm in a place where it's not really working for us, and you're not allowing the team to work. Because if a woman is saying, listen, like, babe, I know you want to lead this household and you don't necessarily want me to work, but babe, you want to be better, you say it all the time, but let me help you, right? So I'm gonna go to work. So if it's two $65,000 people incomes coming into one house, how much they getting together? How much have you increased? You just doubled that household's income, right? So I agree with you, Ron. You are exactly right. It's teamwork. We build certain things together.
So do you think that it's the guys that may have a lower income that's not willing to be upcoming and up forth about that, or y'all think that women do not want to deal with a man that's not where they want them to be? They don't want to take the journey with them.
Or the man don't want to go on a journey. Is that what you were saying?
Well, two parts, because to the point where the guy, he's not there yet, but he doesn't want to say like, I'm not there yet. This is what I'm working towards, because they're saying because the woman may make more. But then there may be women that look down on the dude that make less and say, I don't want to take that journey with you because I'm already up here. You need to already be here.
Well, that ain't never been my story. I've never really cared. That has never bothered me if I made more or less than somebody. That's never been a factor as far as I'm concerned, because I don't expect somebody to come in and rescue me or pay for me. That's my responsibility to pay for myself. So I would never demand that for somebody that I'm dating.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like a lot of dudes have a perspective, even in like you said, when you start to look at the social media and how a lot of women that women look up to or embrace carry themselves is like, oh, you gotta have this and this. So a lot of dudes see that and see women in a position, they be like, well, they think that the mind frame is the same as what you see on the internet. So it makes it, I think that kind of destroys the building dynamic between men and
Exactly.
women.
That's one of the things I said. I said, we gotta log off. You know what I mean? Because we'll get into these social media spaces, whether it's YouTube, whether it's whatever, IG, Facebook, or whatever, and we'll think like this is how it is, right? But if you're out here, like you gotta close that laptop up, shut down the computer, and go out and interact with people daily or whatever on a regular basis, right? And to get a real picture of what real life. This box is not your real life. And that's everyone here watching. What I'm saying, what Joy's saying, what NAllen is saying is not your real life. It ain't. Okay? Your real life is when you close that laptop and you go wherever you need to go and deal with your real life. So when you hear what we're saying, so that's what we're saying is it's like we hear all of this rhetoric from all sides, from everybody.
Like this, Jamal Neezy says modern women think they deserve the finish line, man.
This is the you see what I'm saying? This is the kind of rhetoric we're speaking about, right?
Right. Because that's not even what was said.
Nobody said that.
Yeah.
You had a woman on here that said she would go 50-50 with the man.
No, I think you're speaking to the fact like that's the image and that's the
in
agenda
general
that's pushed out.
And that's why we say,
and that's what we here to like combat that.
Close the laptop. Shut it down.
Yeah.
Turn off the lights. Go outside. Go outside.
Most women don't want the struggle. They rather meet an accomplished man at his finish line. I'm gonna tell you, y'all talking about these wall women. I guess I don't know because I'm still interested in this wall. So many people out here, like even in college, they with these dudes, they study and they taking classes for them. I mean, I've seen all of that. What is this? What kind of struggle love y'all want?
Listen, if you're a man and you're coming across a woman who doesn't vibe with you, keep it pushing. Because guess what? If I come across someone who doesn't vibe with me, guess what I'm about to do? It's too easy. And I don't have to make a grand speech about how this man didn't vibe with me. Right?
Yeah.
Who needs to do that? Right? Bye. Okay, thank you. Because it's all when you know who you are, you're confident and you know who you are, then you know your lane. And if you know your lane, then you're bound to find somebody that vibes with you.
Yeah.
And that's just it.
Thank you so much.
But thank you, Ron. I appreciate you coming up here.
No problem. Definitely.
Thank you so much. Please come back. Huh?
Lisa says so.
Definitely a supporter of the channel. So
thank you.
I appreciate that, Ron, coming through.
Thank you.
No
Lisa,
problem.
the happy housewife. She says, so are y'all talking about being housewives once married or working wives? Let's do that. Let's go.
But are you but let me you're married, right?
Yeah.
Do you
I work. I have a job. Yeah. I don't just have a job either. And I ain't just trying to act like I'm an independent woman either. Yeah. So most of us have to work. So according to this median house, this income, most of us assume that we have to work. I don't know. How do you take stats on that? And are people reporting it? Who's doing the surveys? I don't know. Most of us assume that if we are lucky and blessed enough to get married, that we still have to work. But yeah, I never even thought about ever being a housewife or not working. I just always thought I had to work. And maybe it has something to do with how I grew up, but I just assumed I had to have a job. So, I
Yeah.
mean, what about y'all? Were y'all like, oh, when I get this man, would you say, Joy?
No, I
Waiting
didn't.
on my man. When I
So
get my man, are we gonna have to
So both of my parents worked all
Yeah.
my life. My mother and my father, and they work. Actually, my parents still work, and they're they are retired. Both of them are retired military. Did 25 each of them did 25 plus years in the military. So that and then they still work, but they work because they want to, if that makes sense. Because they don't really have to. House paid off or whatever, but they just like getting out and being in the community each day. So shout out to them. But I've grown up thinking like, yeah, you're gonna have to get a job.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna have to work. So my mom was not a housewife. But she was very much so a wife and a mother while she served in the military. Active duty, not even like part-time, right? This is what, so I saw this woman get up every single morning, her and my father, and then when her and my father divorced, her and my stepfather, they got up every single morning and my stepfather was in the military too, did 20 plus years as well, got up every single morning, did what they had to do. She come home, she make sure everything was good with my sister and I, and that's the way it was. So that's what I saw. But I also saw my grandmother, who was the same, right? Married at a very young age. She was married at 16. My grandmother was, had her 5 kids with her husband. You know what I mean? And did that. So I never came up in I guess a space where it was like, I'm gonna be a housewife. I always felt like, I had to work. It was just it's just like a way of life. Like, you got to get a job. Okay, I'm gonna get a job. I gotta support myself. Who else is gonna do it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, your husband to do it. Okay, well, okay, that's fine. But I would still think if my husband and I want to be at a certain, level, if I'm within my lane that I'm picking from, then I already know I have a concept of what he's thinking, right? Then yeah, me working is gonna be a part of that for however long it needs to be a part of that.
Yeah, I'm too ambitious. I have things that I wanted to achieve on my own. So I was never that's
Got
never
my
been
own goals.
a mindset or a goal of mine to have somebody. Now again, they can come get these bills if they want them, but
Right. They're always available. We
I
always
ain't
need.
saying
We always
I'm
need.
not gonna stop somebody from like
I
want to
ain't
pay
gonna
my
stop
mortgage. Why would I do that? Okay, you paying the mortgage, you definitely coming home to what you say they want cook 2 meals a week or 3 or
At least
all
3.
7.
They want at least 3. But when they
Or
being
at least
ridiculous, they
3.
want you to cook 7
That's
days.
not no what shit is what shit is, man, no problem. That ain't no problem.
Yeah,
You
that's
gonna
easy.
that's
Stop.
easy. I can make a sandwich. It'll be a big one too.
Doug says, I put myself in a position where I can pay 100% of the bills if I ever get married.
Good
Guys should
job,
do the
Doug.
same.
I hear
If you
that.
think that Doug has a point here, put a 1 in the chat. Let us know what y'all think about that. If you think Doug being ridiculous and women need to work, women need to pay 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% of the bills, put a 2 in the chat. If you think Doug is like on to something, so y'all gonna get off us. If Doug say these men need to pay all the bills, he's ready. So y'all put a 1 in the chat if y'all agree. Who else we got here? We got our same people. Quick 5. We have somebody in the back.
Yeah, we do.
She was
We got
just
somebody.
cammed up.
Yeah, she gotta get cammed up. Come on.
She left.
She was probably like, maybe she left, I think. But no, she's right there.
Okay. Come on back. Come on back. So it says
There she go.
all right, let's bring up Jasmine Braids. All right, Jasmine, don't be with no miss.
No, come on. Hi, Jasmine.
Hey.
Hello, ladies. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
What's
What you
going
got
on?
for
What
us?
you got to say? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so my opinion is that every woman My thought is that every woman growing up needs to have her education. She, she needs to have her driver's license. She needs to have good credits, build herself so that if anything in the future were to happen to her future partner, she can take care of herself and her children, and that she'll be able to educate her children.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I feel like a lot of women these days are after material things, after a certain lifestyle, at the expense of their children. They're going to work, spending all their time at work while a nanny or a babysitter or a filthy daycare is taking care of their children. When you were mentioning a $60,000 salary for a husband, at $2,000 rent, that leaves her with $3,000 a month. That's more than enough for groceries, utilities, to live a decent life. Why are women these days after, the Lamborghinis and the nails and the hair and this and that? Like, there's other priorities in life. Like Kevin Samuels used to say, I don't want to die alone. I want a family.
Yeah.
I think I understood. I was if you guys understood it, that's fine. It was a little I think I heard some like the main point was saying like and correct me if I'm wrong, Jasmine, you were saying something to the fact that women should get their education, be able to support themselves just in case something happens to their partner in the future. And be able to educate the children as well. And then you went on into I guess I want to say like living within the means type deal, right?
She said
Something
no
that
Lamborghinis and all that stuff.
Lamborghini, yeah. Like if you're living beyond that, understanding that I didn't know it was breaking up to me. But if y'all got it, that's fine. You can react to it. I just wanted to make sure that was it.
So
Is
you
she
said
frozen? Is she
I don't
there?
know.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
here, but I'm just
Oh, it's
hearing
delay.
all your voices overlap. So I really hard to hear.
Oh, it might
Yeah,
be
I
Okay.
might be.
Did you have like a video playing in the background? Hello?
I think she might have a delay.
Yeah, it sounds like, there's several here backstage. Like I can hear several voices that overlap.
Okay. Well, you were saying though that women should get an education. They should be able to take care of themselves, right? And
Of course.
but you still want a family. Is that it? That's what I got. We agree with
Of
it.
course.
We want families as well. We want to be with someone who wants to be with us.
Yeah, I do have a family. Like the first thing that was set in my mind when I was a child was that I was to get a university degree, and I did get that.
Yeah, but they also throw out those stats about these educated women. So what do you think about that?
What's the stats about these educated women?
70% of them are leaving the marriage. 90% of those have a college degree or better.
Yes, an educated woman is more likely to leave her marriage than one that is not.
Why?
So
Because she has
what
more
do you think about that?
opportunity.
What do you think, Jazz?
And I think that goes back to a lack of commitment these days. It's so quick for either a woman or a man to leave their marriage when things go awry instead of sticking through it. You know, there's something to be said for loyalty and working through your problems. Marriages go up and down, like there are rough patches. But
That's right.
I've been married for 20 years now. And not all of it was perfect, but most of it was beautiful because I've been patient, he's been patient, and we've helped each other throughout the way.
That's that's a
That's
blessing.
what we were saying at the beginning. Yeah, I love it. You're absolutely right. You're 1,000% right.
So yeah, we would love to have the same. I see no lies here. So I don't.
Yeah, no.
So what's your threshold? Like you're gonna stay regardless of anything that happens.
Jasmine?
What, me?
Yeah. What's your limit?
Like,
You
of
don't have a
course, there's
limit?
certain limits. Like, if he were ever to abuse me, like, that's not something that I would put up with. There are
Okay.
certain lines that you don't cross in marriage.
Okay. Just making sure because
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
everyone has their own reasons, and I just was curious about like because you've been blessed that it has worked out for you that way. So congratulations. Yeah, that's a blessing because most have not had that opportunity. So I mean, I don't have anything else.
I just think, I know it's hard. Marriage is hard. But
It is.
unfortunately, a lot of people, they think about what they want, what they need, not what the family needs.
Right.
So
I
and you
agree.
think that's mostly on the women? Do you think that's mostly on the women? Do you think the women are selfish?
I think it's happening with both nowadays.
Okay.
The men are being selfish and the women are being selfish. I think it's happening on both sides. This generation that's coming, especially after Gen X, yes, but I don't even think they have the basic skills to cook. They're so consumed with what they want. They want to have fun. They want to make a quick buck. They want to do this and that. Like, it's just
Okay. Y'all got anything else?
All right.
I
Who's
think
up
you're muted,
next?
Ty.
Oh,
Ty, I think you're muted. Are you muted?
Yeah, I'm muted. I'm
my,
sorry.
my point is that 60,000 is more than average, and people can make that work if they want to.
okay. Y'all win.
Joy.
If you want to win, y'all win. Okay. All right. Next.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you
Thank
coming
you
up
so
and
much.
sharing
Good
your
night.
opinion.
I was
Thank
just saying,
you.
even with that whole thing, Joy, I was saying like,
Like, I don't know what y'all want me
everybody.
to say.
Yeah,
I'm telling
I mean,
you, it's
I
not a
get it.
lot.
It's
It's not
not.
a
I
lot to
mean,
raise a family of 4. I'm sorry. Like,
it's
it's
not.
not.
I agree.
If
I
you
agree.
some 19-year-old child, sure, you balling out of control. But okay.
We got somebody else in the back. Who is this? Bridget Scott.
Bridget Scott.
Welcome.
Hi, Bridget. How are you?
I'm fine.
Welcome. Thank you
So,
for coming up.
okay, so I'm at work. So,
Okay.
but anyway,
Don't get
I
in
just,
trouble, girl.
What coast are you?
no,
Where you coming from? Are you in California?
no, I'm actually in Florida.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Florida. I'm originally from New York, but basically, and I'm new to the channel. And I'm just listening to everybody
We are
comment.
too.
Um,
Welcome.
okay, so welcome. Um, and I am a much older woman, and basically, I just wanted to say that we're dealing with different generations when it comes down to being an independent woman, being a housewife. I mean, I was raised that don't depend on a man. Um, but now generation has changed, and we are, where men are saying, hey, you know what? I do want to be the man of the household, and I want the black woman to respect me being the man of the household, whether I'm making 100,000 or 50,000. You still give me that respect. But when you're dealing with, like, for my generation, if I was raised, well, you know what? Um, you either be independent or the man takes care of the whole household. So um basically what I'm saying is, hey, if a man is going to be the man of the household and want to hold that title, I was raised that, okay, a woman stay home and take care of her children and let that man and give that man that respect and be the man, whether he was making 50,000 or 100,000. Okay, but there are women who are that have to go out there on their own and make it on their own. like I did. That's why I said, look, I would love to have been a housewife and stayed home and take care of my children, but I had to do it on my own. I went to school. I paid for I had to pay for everything. I did everything on my own, raised my children on my own because I didn't have that, man to say, I'm gonna do my part the way we would like it to be. So
Right.
you have a lot of women saying, yes, um, I'm going to do 50-50. It just depending on the generation, the time span, we have different ages and how we was raised, how how we was brought up for women. That's basically what I'm saying. It's just a generational thing. As the generation changes, we're seeing that what a lot of men saying, look, I don't want my woman to work. I make enough money because now you have a lot of men that are into geek, they into tech, they can make the money where they could have their woman stay home. Where then you have a lot of men that are older and they're still struggling because for whatever reason, life just didn't do them well. And there's a lot of competition out there. So I just think basically it's how generation changes, and that's why you have so much of a different perspective of how we see our black women, how our black women see our black men now.
Yeah. So what do you think of how do you think we see them? You think they're like in a
Well, well, the way I think we see in today's generation, the older women, okay, I'm sorry, there's a lot of competition.
How old is
There's a
older?
lot of
How do we
well,
define
when I
older?
okay, so when I say older women, I'm talking about 40s, 40 to 50. Okay. Well, I'm
Logging off.
I'm not saying no, no. What I'm trying to say is there. I'm not saying older women don't got it going on. They ain't got nothing going for them. So what I am saying is that you have the older women that's in their 40s, and they done raise their children. Now you're competing against women who are in their early 30s or mid 30s to 20-year-olds with these guys who are in their 30s and 40s, and it's like, okay, that have themselves together, and who are they looking at? I mean, okay, let me give you a good example. Men say this: I want women who have natural hair, wear their natural hair. Okay, how many black women are wearing their natural hair now?
I'm
And it's
out.
hard.
You know what?
Okay,
I got
okay,
something to say about that.
I'm out.
okay, but what I'm trying to this is what
Y'all
I'm
gonna
saying
get
about the
these bundles
competition.
today.
What I'm saying
Right.
about the what I'm
Right.
trying to say is about the competition is it's like, okay, it's nothing wrong with not wearing your natural hair. It's nothing wrong with wearing a weave because it's a trend. But when we're talking about competing against these Instagram girls and these younger girls
I ain't
that
competing
have,
against no Instagram
it's
girl.
what I'm trying to say is the competition is out there for older women because older women, they are into more natural hair and stuff like that. But then when you got to compete, it's like, okay, well, let me go throw a wig on, or but or because I'm still trying to stay up with the trend. It's a trend, and some men just don't get it. And when you sit there and you be like, man says, I want natural hair. Well, why you want a natural hair? Because I don't want to be paying $100 to $300 to pay for you to get your hair done. But you want me to look good, okay?
Right.
I'm sorry, looking good and looking nice. You want me to look good. You want me to work. You want me to take care of the kids. You want me to, there's like so many things. And that's work. Not saying that a woman shouldn't have to do that. But the thing is this, it's like, can you meet me halfway? So, where some of these girls out there, like she would like, I don't know your name with the long hair. I don't know your name, but you were saying about You
Joy.
know,
Joy,
these
joy,
girls,
that's joy.
yeah, Joy, like you were saying, you know what? Some of these girls, they got it made. And you're right, they got it made. You're right. They don't got to do nothing but look pretty. They got it made. And these guys are, and believe it or not, these guys are really falling for it.
They
Some of
love
these
it.
guys they don't want a hardworking woman who put
Mm-mm.
themselves through school, who say, hey, I really want I do want a woman to go 50-50, or I'm proud of you, you know, it, they don't
Okay.
want it as much as they say, you know what, I don't want I want a woman that's submissive. Well, you know what? If you want a woman that's submissive, that's no problem. Like you said, a woman will automatically be submissive to a man as long as he's doing the right and proper things. And that's
Yeah.
not hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
not hard.
Come
Mm-hmm.
through.
It's not hard
Mm-hmm.
because other cultures of women, they're doing it.
Yeah.
The Spanish cultures are doing it. They're submissive to the man, believe it or not. They they got
A
their,
little
but
spicy.
they're submissive. Yeah, they got their little spicy to the. You got Asian women, they're submissive to their man.
Mhm.
So why can't us African American women be submissive to our man?
We can be.
We
I
can
think
be.
there are a lot of black women that are submissive to their men, and I feel like a lot of times we get caught up in. I mean, we get caught up in a lot of rhetoric, and we don't necessarily see. I've seen a lot of women. I've seen women be submissive to to their men, and then I'm not. Listen, you throw your stats out about marriage and divorce. Okay. And I think you said it, Bridget. Like you said you grew up um you grew up under the rhetoric of like being an independent woman or something like that. Is that what you said when you first came on?
Right. So
Um
I was raised. I grew up where my mother was telling me, look, don't depend on a man.
mhm.
That's the generation I grew up
Right.
in. You don't
Mhm.
depend on a man. You go get yours.
That's right.
Don't
Mhm.
have no dependency on man. So, but even though I was raised that way, I'm gonna be very honest with you. My ex-husband, he was a drug dealer, and I was like, yo, you gonna take care of me. So
Mhm.
as but as time grow, if you was you've it's generations that I'm talking about. So we are in a generation now where there are younger men that are making money,
Mhm.
making a decent pay, whether it's so
Mhm.
if a 20-year-old or let's say a 20-year-old, you know, that's into the computers or the certain careers or they are into investments and stuff like that, they're already making 75,000. For 20-year-old, that's a lot. Okay,
Mhm.
you got 20-year-olds that are investing in and when my generation, you didn't catch a 20-year-old in talking about investment, talking about living a
Mhm.
debt-free life.
Mhm.
Okay, so so when you have uh the guys that are responding to your panel now, they're like, look, I want a woman who don't work, or that's, I didn't read all of the messages, but and I'm not going to call out any names, but basically these guys are saying, you know what, I did the right things to say I could afford to say that my woman, I don't want my woman to work, you know
Mhm.
and it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just the generation I was talking about.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a different generation, and
Right.
that's why the feedback you're getting, because you have more younger men. There are a lot of younger men that got their act together. Sorry to say, and you got a lot of these older men. They don't. They still trying to pull it together.
Oh,
Okay.
oh. Say they on
You
struggle.
know.
They moved on Struggle Street.
So
They
and
took the
and
bus, the struggle bus to Struggle Street. There it is.
and so what do you do? So this is the question that I ask myself. Okay, I done struggled. I done put myself through school. I am a career woman.
Mhm.
And okay, so when I'm looking for a man, I'm looking for a soulmate, that we could build together. And yeah, I'm making more money than him. I don't, that, not to say that that's a big factor, but the thing is this: when you're talking about a woman is making more money than a man, okay, career wise, and the man is saying, hey, you know what? I wanna, I wanna I want you to be submissive. And I'm like, okay, well, let's leave the money part of, you can't be saying to me, well, baby, because you make more money than me, you're going to be paying for the next trip to Hawaii. No, I don't know. Just because I make more money
You
than
said
you,
it, Bridget. You said it.
just because I make more money
There's
than
a
you,
word.
you better act like you still making more money than me. Don't give me the attitude. Don't give me the, be like, oh, well, baby, you're making more money. So you got next meal? No, no, no. So that's what I'm saying when it comes down to a man, like, it's okay for a woman to make more money, but treat her still as if, hey, I'm the man of the household because I'm the man of this relationship. And it ain't got nothing to do with your money, even if I'm making less money than you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
But they don't do that. And that's where the submissive don't. That's why you don't get. That's why you don't have a woman being submissive, because.
Exactly.
So that's the
Thank you,
problem. So.
Bridget. I
She
appreciate you
said
coming
it.
through.
She summed it up.
She said a word. She said a couple of words.
Well,
Yes.
that's just my opinion.
Thank you so
But
much, Bridget, for
you,
coming
you
in
have a
here.
great show, and
Thank you.
I look forward to watching y'all and seeing y'all in the future.
Thank you,
Thank
Bridget.
Okay.
Thank
you.
you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bridget said a couple words. I appreciate her perspective
Yeah.
on that. I appreciate that. All right, ladies. Ladies, now it's time to say goodbye.
We want to thank y'all all for coming out, supporting us on our first stream, guys. I think we did good. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Is that how they end the church?
We shall.
Thank you so much, y'all. Everybody who came in, y'all don't forget to like and subscribe. And we're gonna be putting out more content. Hopefully later this week we'll get back together and we'll see y'all then. Anything else y'all want to add, guys?
If y'all watch the replay, tell us some ideas of what you like us to talk about in the future. Put in the comments.
Yes.
Oh, y'all need to light the comments up. I want the smoke in the comments.
We want the smoke.
We want to see it because I mean, it's evident that a lot of people did not agree with us, and some people did. So light the comments up. Like, tell us about ourselves.
Yes. But thank y'all for coming out.
Thank y'all.
Now.
All right.
Till next time.
All right, y'all.